What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Back to 12 podcast and a Texas Tech football live stream / watch party. We've had a few thousand people tune in. In the first 2 weeks, over 25,000 people have tuned in to these live streams. I think we're going to add a little bit to that number today as your Texas Tech Red Raiders are set to face off against the UNT Mean Green in a game that almost feels must win for the Red Raiders because of how the first 2 weeks have gone. Obviously, Abilene Christian didn't go according to plan, and last week against Washington State in the Pacific Northwest, they laid a massive egg. Can they get back on track today at the friendly confines of Jones AT&T Stadium? We will have live commentary. We'll have an interactive scoreboard and obviously be answering your questions with the live chat throughout the entire game with instant reaction in the post game as well. So if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and let me know your score prediction and where you're watching from in the chat. But before we get into any of that, while the chat builds and y'all like the video, we have to talk about who is in and who is out for the Red Raiders. And if you see this light on me, that is the TV in front of me. I swear I'm not changing colors on you in terms of going from green to purple and all this stuff. But anyway, I digress. Texas Tech had a lengthy injury report in this one, including damn near their entire secondary. But it looks like in terms of the guys that are out for sure, according to Double T 97.3 out there in Lubbock, out today for Texas Tech will be outside linebacker Charles Esther III, a guy that has not played at all this season for Texas Tech, as well as safety Javion Wilcox. They have yet to see the field this season due to injury. Outside of that, you have another outside linebacker in Harvey Dyson III out with a foot injury. Your starting left tackle, Sterling Porche, is also out. That means you will see Dalton Merriman make his first career start at left tackle for the Red Raiders alongside the new left guard for Texas Tech and Caleb Rogers due to Vinny Sciury having a season-ending knee injury. So from left to right for the Red Raiders, this is what you should expect on the offensive line today. Dalton Merriman at left tackle, Rogers at left guard, Sheridan Wilson at center, Davion Carter, the Memphis transfer, at right guard, then Ty Buchanan at right tackle. Things can change on that in the game if things don't go according to plan, but that interior seems like that's where they're going to stay. Maybe you switch some tackles around in terms of if things don't go according to plan, but that should be the starting offensive line for the Red Raiders. The other big one for Texas Tech, he's back, people. Taj Brooks is back and without a snap count. According to multiple reports within the Texas Tech space, that is huge because Cameron Valdez is out in this game for Texas Tech. So the two leading rushers for the Red Raiders will be, aforementioned Taj Brooks, who returns from an arm injury without a snap count, according to multiple reports. And then the true freshman, Cam Dickey, will be the backup running back for the Red Raiders against the UNT Mean Green. So big-time stuff right there for Texas Tech. It's big to have Taj Brooks back, but it almost feels like it's a security blanket at that point. There were multiple people reporting that, and now here we go. I mean, it's one of those deals now where keys to the game for the Red Raiders shifting in as we got a few more minutes left of pregame here, about 10 more minutes. Appreciate y'all spending some of y'all Saturday morning into the afternoon hours here. Not a lot of great games today, if we're being honest. I think there's only one ranked matchup, Missouri and Boston College, because everybody had Boston College as a ranked team to start the season, / sarcasm right there. But some things I'm watching for in this one. Early on, I want to see how that offensive line unit looks because that's going to be super interesting and imperative to keep Baron Morton upright. Also, what does it look like offensively in the sense of personnel? Is there any changes, right? I'm not saying you have to play Micah Hudson every snap, but do they try and hush those tones and those concerns from Texas Tech fans and Red Raider Nation in the sense of why the hell is Micah Hudson barely playing? Okay, do they hush those a little bit early on, getting him a snap or two and really a target or two early on? Not forcing, but maybe getting him into a design play where that's the first read for Baron Morton, right? Do they do that? Also, defensively, can they stay in a rush lane? I mean, last week against Washington State, and their quarterback was one of the more abysmal rushing defensive performances I've seen. And we've seen Texas Tech play Arizona State in the past. We've seen Texas Tech play Kansas State in the past, right? I think everybody remembers Kalen Ballage. I think everybody remembers a true freshman in Avery Johnson last year out in Lubbock, just absolutely running all over that Tim DeRuyter defense. Can Tim DeRuyter, albeit with a lot of injuries, there are a lot of injuries. He is missing arguably his 4 top outside linebackers, right? Because you think about it, you've already got 2 that are missing the entire year for Texas Tech. And then you're out with Charles Esters and Harvey Dyson missing this game as well. So what does Texas Tech look like up there? You will have Quincy Ledet, according to reports, the nose tackle for Texas Tech. But how does the rush defense look? Because granted, the defense was put in some tough spots last week. I think everybody can agree with that. If you go by everything in terms of turnovers, Texas Tech had 8 turnovers last week, if you include turnover on downs, which it's in the name, so I'm going to include it, right? You can't win football games doing that, let alone put your defense in good positions to succeed, right? You just can't. So that's what I'm looking at early on. Can the defense come out, maybe set the tone in the run game, albeit North Texas don't run too much, people. This is a true air raid from a guy that learned from the best in Mike Leach and former Texas Tech Red Raider Eric Morris. They love to throw the football. This has been a true test for Texas Tech in the sense of they've got a lot of familiarity on that opposite sideline the first 3 games of the year. That's just the reality of it. Abilene Christian, we know Coach Patterson. Then you've got multiple guys at Washington State that coached under Mike Leach and even had Texas Tech ties. And then obviously now against UNT this week, you've got Coach Morris and others in terms of Texas Tech ties. That's not an excuse for how they performed. It's more so, hey, they know you. How are you going to get creative if you're a coach? How are you going to make adjustments and go in there and really earn that paycheck, right? And the players got to make plays too. Jimmy's and the Joes on the field at the end of the day are the one making the decisions in terms of the proper reads, also where they're supposed to go with the football, blocking schemes, everything like that. But at the end of the day, the thing that I'm watching for most in this one, offense or defense for Texas Tech, is how does that defensive line look even thinner now? With multiple guys out, can they get to the quarterback, a name that you're probably going to know if you're a Big 12 fan, and Chandler Morris, the former TCU quarterback that actually was the starting quarterback for TCU the year that they went to the national title game, at least the starting quarterback to begin the season, and then got hurt. Max Duggan took that job, and, well, we know what happened to the Horned Frogs after that, right? So this guy is familiar with Big 12 competition. He's really good in this Eric Morris system as well. He's got 2 really, really good wide receivers that you have to know about in terms of Ward and Sheffield. Both guys can take the top off of the defense really at any time they want. And so that's what I'm watching for most in this one. All right, let's get to the comments for a few shout outs in this one. We've got, I was like Emelo. Run the damn ball and play, have less than 6 penalties all game. That's it. Yeah, I mean, penalties are a big factor in this one. I'm interested to see the tempo side of things for Texas Tech because I think if they go a little slower, I was actually talking about this with Lyle on the podcast yesterday, like you don't have to get out of tempo. You just need to get out of turbo. You can still go fast and still be methodical, okay? There's levels to this, and I think Texas Tech really needs to do a better job of that. Before we get to more questions, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. If you're going to be joining us all game long, this will be a lot of fun. The interactive chat, we get tons of Red Raiders in here throughout the day, and it's going to be strictly Texas Tech talk. That's it. If you're frustrated, I'm frustrated. I'm right there with you guys, but we're going to keep it real right here. So again, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and let me know your score prediction to where you're watching from in the comments as we are just 5 minutes away from kickoff on FS1. All right. We've got John saying, Viva the Matadors. Old Texas Tech, man, I've woken up hope else, and it's time to fire Kitley. I don't know about that. I'm not on the fire Kitley train just yet. Watching from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Christopher watching from Carrollton. We've got somebody watching from Kyle, Texas. Kitley will be fine. Just out of Fritch, Texas. We've got Tater Salad City. Okay. I'll be honest with you. this might be a hot take, and I might lose some followers here. I'm not a big potato salad or chicken salad or any really kind of salad outside of a normal salad type of guy. Yeah, maybe I'm in the wrong there. But anyway, appreciate you tuning in, John. We got Relic. I played this game on NCAA 2025. We struggle again. He says, "Suns up, guns up." We've got Christopher saying, "RC, thank you for all you do for us fans." I appreciate that. The kind words, Christopher, tuning in. Trying to give you all daily videos that are honest. I know that there's great podcasts in the community at Texas Tech space. I won't crap on anyone, but here at the Back to 12, all we do is try and keep it real. That's it with you. If you're upset, I promise you, I'm a Red Raider too. I've got 2 degrees. You can see one right there. I'm a Red Raider through and through. I get pissed off just like you guys. I'm just lucky enough to have a platform where people enjoy listening. So appreciate y'all tuning in for sure on that front. Glass Guy says, "What's up, my dudes? Y'all all recovered from last week, ready for the game?" Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. I'll be honest with you guys. I have a solid feeling about today for Texas Tech. I really do. I think Taj Brooks could create a spark for this team that a lot of people are maybe not selling enough in terms of how big of an impact he could have on this. So I think Taj Brooks gives a little bit of a spark for sure. Let's see. We've got David saying, "I bet Texas Tech's lose." Okay. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of hard disagrees. We're real Texas Tech fans here. We're realist about things. We don't sugarcoat things here. That's for sure. So I mean, it's in the realm of possibility. Shit, they almost lost to ACU. Definitely not out of the realms of possibilities. Debbie, the realest truth teller, maybe in the comments section. We'll give Debbie that title right now. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Here again, RC. I appreciate you tuning in, Debbie. I do be seeing those comments. That's for sure. And I appreciate you tuning in. Let's see. We've also got a couple more people. We've got Noah. Wes Welker finally getting into the Ring of Honor. Yes, thank you, Noah. That is a great point on your part. I should definitely bring that up in the sense of who is going into the Ring of Honor for Texas Tech, because that's a big deal, right? Like this is one of those things where you got Wes Welker out there in terms of going into the Ring of Honor. Multiple other Red Raiders too. I want to make sure that I get these names right. It's Thomas, Andre, and Wes. So when you look at this, you've got Thomas Howard, you've got Andre Tillman, and then you've got Wes Welker going into the Ring of Honor. And Wes Welker, obviously deserving, as is Thomas and Andre as well, 2 of the great defensive players in Texas Tech program history. So thank you for bringing that up, Noah. I should have brought that up earlier. That is a lapse on my part, so I really do appreciate that. Debbie, no reason to be negative. You can be yourself here. That's what these comments are for, and that's not just a shot at Debbie, or not even really a shot, just a comment at Debbie. I mean, it's really for everybody. Like, be yourself here. You can say your truth as long as you're not mean about it or anything like that. If you're being honest about it, we're all for it. And, oh, my God, they're not even there. Oh, God, the announcers aren't even there. That's another reason to tune in here. We'll keep you updated on that. The announcers are not in Lubbock. You can easily tell they are not as they show some warm-up stuff there. So that'll be absolutely fun and absolutely egregious to listen to in terms of play-by-play. But, again, that's why you mute your TV and you listen to us here. That's what we're doing here. All right. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, you can tell if you're watching on the TV when the announcers are there or not, specifically on Fox with their backdrop. If it doesn't look real in terms of it looks like a screen, your eyes are not lying to you. It is a screen. So they're probably in some studio somewhere. Yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, it's just the way that they've done it after COVID to cut costs, these broadcasting companies, because, of course, they need to cut costs. I mean, they're spending, inordinate amount of money, as I'm saying this so much sarcastically. Like, golly, just be better about it. All right. I mean, that's what it looked like to me from it. So if anybody wants to go back and double check me on that. But yeah, I mean, I've noticed that since COVID on that front. Brent says, will Chandler Morris run the ball a decent amount? He definitely has that ability. I think that's a big thing too. I talked about it in the preview video here on the channel, that I think to make Chandler Morris not play well, Texas Tech has got to do a really good job of containing him, because he's one of those quarterbacks that does a really good job off of those off-scripted plays where he rolls out and kind of makes something happen, right? He's really good at that, and he's a really good quarterback for that level of football in North Texas. Don't get it twisted. Chandler Morris is a guy that has Big 12-type traits. The problem with him is he just gets injured all the damn time, so teams can't really rely on him. So he's a guy that could potentially give Texas Tech problems. There is absolutely no doubt about that in this football game. And it's one of those deals where he kind of reminds me of the guy that you just played up in Washington State. I always say Matir. I know it's not, but Matir, I think, is his name. So, yeah, that's the kind of guy you're going to see again, potentially. But the thing is Matir, he's a lot more durable. So I don't expect Chandler Morris to run that much, but he does have the ability to do so if you allow him to get out of the pocket and really extend those plays for sure. Appreciate the super chat, Anthony. It's a way to get on the screen right there if you want your questions seen or anything like that. Anthony always coming through on that front. Appreciate you, my man, for tuning in today. Suns up, guns up from Grand, Texas. That from Zach. We've also got Corpus Christi as well. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Adam says, I have a feeling we route Texas or North Texas today. I don't know if it's a route, but I do think Texas Tech covers. The line ended up closing at, let me double check. I believe it was at 10. I believe it was at 10. 10 and a half, actually. Okay, so it closed at 10 and a half there. Anthony, let me know. Did Levelland win last night against Idalou? I didn't check, but obviously my co-host on the long form of the Big 12 podcast, Lyle Leong Jr., the head coach out there. So need to send him a congrats if they ended up winning. Adam says, I guess I don't know what I am looking at. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, they're not there from what I saw, the announcers, and this will probably be the last time I talk about it, as Texas Tech heads onto the field right now. Funny enough, two of the top 5 passers in the country right now are playing quarterback for this, well, in this game, I should say. Chandler Morris, second in the country, only behind Jackson Dart. And then, funny enough, Baron Morton at 701, which is kind of crazy because at the end of the day, passing yards don't really matter. Results do. All right, let's see if we can get this underway in terms of, well, getting you guys a scoreboard, but ESPN is having a bad time in terms of updating it. Texas Tech will kick off first. Will the Red Raiders? As they will kick off towards the south end zone, wearing black helmets, red jerseys, and white breeches, and UNT in all white. And we are underway out in the 806. The tortillas fly. There will be no return. And please, dear Lord, tell me you're going to fix this camera angle FS1. My goodness, this camera angle is booty cheeks, to say the least. To say I'm not surprised would be an understatement, I guess, right? On that front. We'll get the scoreboard up here in just a second once it populates over on the site that we use. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We have 6 likes on my end. We have 50 people watching. I think we can get a few more likes here. And yes, I agree 100%, Adam. The UNT jerseys are dope as hell. All white, green letters, green numbers. They throw a screen and a great tackle right there, swarm tackle from Mo Horn on the outside to limit that to just 1 yard. It will be 2nd and 9. Chandler Morris, as I mentioned, has had a great year so far for North Texas. The junior is 2nd in the country in passing yards, 3rd in passing TDs, and 4th in completions per game. It is 2nd and 9, trips to the top of the screen, running back to the left. They move someone in motion, fake jet sweep. Chandler Morris dumps it off to the running back. Right there is Ben Roberts, wraps him up, not before he gets about a 6-yard gain. Does Harris for North Texas. It will be a 3rd down and short for the Mean Green on their first drive. I'm not going to lie to you. These jerseys are growing on me. When they first released the Red Raider jerseys for Texas Tech, the all red ones, right? I didn't like them. They're growing on me, though. They're growing on me, especially with the black helmets and the white breeches. I'm here for it. And yes, I will say breeches every time. You got trips left here with an tight end on the outside. Direct snap to the running back, and Texas Tech is there and stops him, but it will be an illegal formation, a.k.a. a false start on North Texas as Chandler Morris was moving before the snap. We'll see if Texas Tech will take the fourth down or no, it was a procedural penalty, excuse me. So that means it will be 3rd and 7. Good defense right there by Texas Tech. And bear with me while I switch things around here on the screen for you guys. So that way y'all can have the play-by-play. Or not the play-by-play, but the score and everything. And leaders on the screen at all times. If I'm looking up, I'm just watching the screen, y'all. Trying to give y'all the play-by-play. Chandler Morris rolls out. Looking for the short dump off. Looked like there was a hold there, and he absolutely throws a dart, but it is dropped by number 8, Ward, and Texas Tech will create a punt. Let's go. Let's go. Get those D's in the chat. No pause. No pause, people. Get those D's in the chat. Let's go. Come on. Good start for Texas Tech right there. Forcing a punt. Again, they got some pressure early on right there, and that was one thing we talked about in the pregame, right? You got to get some pressures. They go all out for the punter. Didn't have anything in terms of touching them there. It's a fair catch, and oh, that's got to be a penalty. Yeah, great catch by Josh Kelly, but there will be fair catch interference on UNT. That's an extra 15 right there for the Red Raiders, and they'll be starting out near midfield, it looks like. Yeah, Josh Kelly caught this one on the Red Raider 30, so they're going to be right at the Texas Tech 45 to start this one out. You'll take that and then some if you're the Red Raiders, especially with how your offense has been going. You'll take anything you can get right now. Taj Brooks out there. It is the offensive line we mentioned in pregame. You got the starting wide receivers of Josh Kelly, Caleb Payday Douglas, Coy Aiken, and Mason Tharp starting. Taj moves from right to left next to Baron Morton. Hand off to Taj Brooks. Heads out far right side. He's going to get nothing. Great defense right there by UNT. It is 2nd down and 10. Baron Morton leads a lot of categories, or in the top 10, I should say. Completions per game, 1st in the country. Yeah, well, that happens when you throw a bunch of screens. 4th in passing yards. They send Josh Kelly in motion. Hand off to Taj Brooks to the right side. He gets some and runs over a UNT defender. Oh, my goodness. Just an absolute mauling run by Taj Brooks. Lowers his shoulder and sends the UNT defender to a different zip code. Oh, my goodness. And the Red Raiders are going quick. Another handoff to Taj Brooks. They weren't lying about a handoff, and here he goes. Taj gets to the left side and runs for about 15, and the Red Raiders are down in UNT territory. It looks like they're in the red zone already. Maybe just short of it. Going to be short, it looks like, and start this one 1st and 10 at the UNT 21. Taj gets off the field here for Cam Dickey. That will slow things up as Texas Tech can't go fast due to the substitution. Got Coy and Josh Kelly at the top of the screen. Caleb Payday Douglas moves in motion. Cam Dickey gets the handoff, makes one guy miss, and a great tackle right there by the UNT defender, but not before the true freshman running back can get 4 yards to move it to 2nd and 6. I did see the Tua injury, Noah. That was honestly super scary, man. Not my place to tell him what he should do or anything like that. I just hope he makes the best decision for him and his family. That was scary, man. I agree, Adam. Keep running it. Pound the rock right here. If you don't need to throw the football, why would you? Just keep running this shit. Conyers on the field now. Cam Dickey at the running back spot, and they get him out in space. He makes one guy miss, goes up the middle. Cam Dickey for a 1st down to the UNT 10. No passing play so far for the Red Raiders. Let's come on. Come on. Noah, yes, Cameron Valdez is out for this game. Your 2 running backs for Texas Tech that you will see will be Taj Brooks and Cam Dickey as Cam Dickey gets the ball again, and UNT's ready for that one, as that will be a loss of 1. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Texas Tech 2nd and goal from the UNT 9. Taj Brooks back in the game. Red Raiders have not thrown the football on this drive. 6 consecutive runs, and why would you? Taj Brooks already with 3 carries and 34 yards. It will be 2nd and goal from the UNT 10. They did, in fact, lose a yard. Coy Aiken, Josh Kelly, Caleb Payday Douglas. This one is, in fact, a pass. It's a lob to Caleb Douglas. Oh, and a great play by the UNT corner right there. Caleb Douglas got his hands on it, but a great play by the UNT defender to smack it out of his hands and negate a touchdown there for the Red Raiders. Actually, that was a really good ball by Baron Morton. Perfect spot where, hey, it was either going to be a completion for Caleb Payday Douglas or it was going to be incomplete. That's it. 3rd and goal. You think if Texas Tech gets about 7 or 8 here, they would try and go down and get the tutty. They've got Dre McCray in, Taj Brooks in the backfield, and they fake RPO, and it's a touchdown, Josh Kelly. Let's get the TDs in the chat, fellas. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. TDs in the chat. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Hell of a throw right there. We love a good slant across the middle, and we talked about that this week. We talked about it this week here on the channel. You have to use the middle of the field more. Perfect drive right there by Zach Kittley. Chef's kiss. Listen, if you're okay with crapping on the guy, you got to give him his flowers, even if it's just on one drive, and that was a hell of a drive right there by Zach Kittley. The PAT is up and good from Reese, and it is 7-0 Red Raiders out in the 806. That's what we need more of. 100% agree right there. If you're going to be run first, and also, who called it earlier? Who called it earlier? Somebody said RPO. I think they were a play early. It was Adam. A play early there, Adam, but I was going to mention it as well. They were going quick. RPO. RPO. That's what Texas Tech needs to do. When you look at the metrics, when it comes down to Texas Tech having Taj Brooks and running RPO with Baron Morton, his numbers just absolutely increase, does Baron Morton, in terms of efficiency. That's what they need to do today a lot, in my opinion. RC, I think Kitley was taking notes from your post-game video. No, I don't know. I didn't see Micah there. And listen, I'll be honest with you guys, if they're listening to me in terms of what should happen, we're in a world of trouble. So I hope they're not listening to me. I am wholeheartedly going to admit I am an armchair quarterback just like you guys. So, but they do need to run RPO more. I am the RPO guy each and every year for Texas Tech when they have a running back, dating back to the Patrick Mahomes era with DeAndre Washington, even dating back to, guys early on in the Joey McGuire era, whether that was Tyler Shuck, obviously being the main one, and in the Matt Wells era too. Just RPO. It's the great way to do things, especially if the defense is going to pinpoint a guy on the other offense. And great point, Casey. Good to see no penalties right there. That is a fantastic point. The offensive line looked good there. I really liked how they got some of those guys in motion, right, early on. That's something that a lot of people, you hear about it, in football, where it's like, hey, we want to get the quarterback in a rhythm early, right? We want to get these guys into the game early, like with some easy passes. Well, an easy way to get the offensive linemen into the game that maybe haven't played as much and get them feeling in terms of going out there and hitting someone, because that first hit is critical, right, is just running the football and getting them sweeping out, right, and being the lead blockers on run plays. And that's exactly what Zach Kittley did right there with Dalton Merriman. He also did that with the likes of Davon Carter. So really good stuff from Zach Kittley right there on that first drive. And really, you can see what they want to do in this one pretty early on. And now you set the tone if you're Texas Tech, where it's like, okay, we know UNT is going to pinpoint the run here. This should open up some shots. Can Baron Morton hit them downfield for the likes of Caleb Payday Douglas? If Micah Hudson's on the field, Coy Aiken, Jalen Conyer, so on and so forth throughout this game. Good stuff right there for sure. Again, if you haven't already, we're about 30 minutes into this one. Appreciate y'all spending some of y'all Saturday morning, transitioning into Saturday afternoon here on the channel. Be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. A lot of people tuning in for the third time. I recognize a lot of these names. I really do. Appreciate y'all spending yet another Saturday with me as Reese Burkhart in the black helmets, the red jerseys, and the white breeches get set to kick off after a absolutely sensational first drive for Texas Tech on offense. UNT will return this one from their own 2. Good special teams, but they got to the outside, then UNT, and Red Raiders got lucky right there, tripping up a wide open wide open lane for UNT. If he doesn't make that tackle right there for Texas Tech, I mean, Sheffield is off to the races. I mean, he is really off to the races right there. All right, Chandler Morris will head back out. Yeah, I agree, Debbie. I think he was gone too. If he wasn't gone, he was clearly going to end up in Texas Tech territory. That's for sure. UNT will end up starting on their own 25, double stacks on each side, sending a guy in motion from left to right. Chandler Morris looks across the middle, incomplete pass. CJ Baskerville came into this game questionable with a shoulder injury. You can see he's actually wearing something on that shoulder to prevent some motion, but he is there to force an incompletion for UNT, and it will be 2nd down and 10 for the Mean Green. UNT, part of the American Conference. Again, their jerseys are really nice. I really like them. No run play. Get to the quarterback. An absolutely lethal hit right there by Amir Washington. And it impacted the play for sure. Chandler Morris had no time at all to get the ball to the outside. And the Red Raiders are now a 3rd and 10. The defense so far has looked pretty good at affecting the quarterback off of the edge, especially Amir Washington. That is the 2nd play on really only 6-7 plays so far from North Texas, where he has impacted it. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. This has to be a confidence-boosting game. As they send someone in motion, does UNT? They get pressure on the quarterback again, a dump off. There's 3 Red Raiders there, and it's nothing doing. Get those Ds in the chat right now. A hell of a tackle by Jacob Rodriguez to force another punt for the UNT Mean Green. The Texas Tech defense making a statement early on in the 806. Stuart, it's always a great day to be a Red Raider. Some better than others, but it's still great no matter what. That's for sure, brother. Get those Ds in the chat. Let's go. Come on. That's what you wanted to see, right? That's what I wanted to see. I know it's exactly what y'all wanted to see too. Come out and make an impact early, defense, and they have definitely done that and then some. Forcing 2 punts early on, and they're sending the house on the kick. Oh, and they almost got there. I need to see if there's a flag. There's not. Josh Kelly fumbles the football, but recovers it and goes down. That could have been an absolute disaster. Josh Kelly initially fumbles the ball. Luckily, no UNT defender there. He quickly pounces on it for Texas Tech. The Red Raiders do have the football, and they will start this drive at their own about 28, 27-yard line. So, again, let's go to waste there. Let me get this screen up. This thing is not working for you guys. I apologize on that front. I don't know what is going on with this, so we're going to find another scoreboard for you guys. Let's see here. Might as well do this while we're in commercial, right? All right. That doesn't help anybody. Not a lot of great ones out there right now, which is super annoying, but here we are, I guess. Yeah, we'll roll with this one. That way y'all can have some stuff at the bottom of the screen as well. Apologies for that. Didn't realize that it had stopped. Maybe it's an actual error out there in the 806 in terms of the scoreboard. So apologies on that front, but we'll keep you up to date on everything. I'll be sure to make sure y'all know the score and what's going on from there, because I think they're having this issue. Sometimes that happens out there in terms of the scoreboard and everything. The stat tracker out at the actual stadium, sometimes they have issues with that, because not only is CBS having issues, but ESPN and everybody else as well. So not ideal on that front, but we'll keep you updated. There's no doubt about it. All right. Let's see. Scary from Kelly. Glad we got that back. Phew. Yeah, that was definitely one of those situations. Okay, D did his job again. Now your turn. Offense, complimentary football, baby. Yeah, absolutely. Tech is definitely better than Florida. I don't know, man. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not, to be honest. But I'm just being honest. Adrian says, "What's up, RC? How's your morning?" Not too bad. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. A lot of fun for sure. Hopefully Texas Tech can get back in the win column after that disaster last week. They have trips right here. Taj Brooks on the right as well. It's a handoff to Taj from right to left, and he's got some room to run. Hell of a block by Dalton Merriman and a big-time run by Taj Brooks. Yet another 15-yard gain for the Red Raiders. Senior running back in Texas Tech moves it close to midfield. That was a phenomenal job. I've been critical of Caleb Rogers in the past. He set the edge there. Absolutely set the edge. Dalton Merriman solidified the edge, but the tone setter right there was no doubt about it, Caleb Rogers. Taj Brooks inching closer to the top 5 in rushing yards all time for Texas Tech. This time he gets caught in the Red Raider backfield at the 46. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Red Raiders. RC, any chance we end up with more than just a random bowl game this year? Probably not. Probably not. I will say, and y'all can make fun of me. Y'all can make fun of me about this. I said it throughout the week on a couple of guest spots that I did, and then also here on the channel. Like, I still think Texas Tech has a really solid chance to get to 8 wins. They obviously have to win today. This one, Baron Morton drops back in the pocket, rolls out right. Taj Brooks there blocking over the middle, and it's flat out dropped. Flat out dropped by Caleb Payday Douglas. Was it the best throw in the world that Baron Morton has ever had? No, but that's a very catchable ball for Caleb Payday Douglas, and he flat out drops it. Just flat out drops it. Definitely could have been a better pass, but that one hit him in both of his hands. You got to make that catch, period. End of story. Red Raiders 3rd and 11 at their own 45. Over to Caleb this time. No, excuse me. That's Jordan Brown. He makes a guy miss, and he's off to the races, people. He's on down to the 20. He's going to make another guy miss. He's within the 10, and he gets all the way down to the UNT 12-yard line. Let's go, JB. Come on, get JB's in the chat right now. Get JB in the chat right now. That was a hell of a move by Jordan Brown. Made one guy miss in man coverage on a comeback route. Excuse me, that was a 90 route to the sideline. 17 for UNT overcommitted, and Jordan Brown put everybody else on skates in the UNT defense, and he got it all the way down to the UNT 12. We love to see that big time. Got to get 7 here, boys. Got to get 7. Taj Brooks in the backfield. Jalen Conyers is the lead blocker. Taj cuts back. Nothing really going there. Good job by UNT right there. That's a little bit of a late hit there, bud. We're not going to talk about the throw down there, ref? Okay. All right. No worries. Looked like there was a little bit of a late hit there in terms of a late shove on Taj Brooks. Caleb Rogers is in Vinny's spot, Noah. He's starting at left guard. Texas Tech goes quickly. Coy Aiken at the top of your screen. Jordan Brown at the bottom with Josh Kelly in the slot alongside Coy. To the left of Baron Morton is Taj Brooks. Jordan Brown moves in motion. Hand off to Taj Brooks. If he can get to the outside, he has room, but nothing going there, as that was just an abysmal lead block by, well, the aforementioned Caleb Rogers. He just flat out whiffed on this guy moving. So you've seen the good and the bad of Caleb Rogers today so far. And to be fair, I want to be fair to him. He is playing left guard for the first time in a game, at least that I can remember, for Texas Tech. So there's going to be some highs and lows for sure. He had a couple of highs on that first drive, but some lows here on the second. 3rd and 12, Taj to the right of Baron. Baron drops back, looks across the middle, throws it outside to Jordan Brown. They're not missing this tackle this time, as the Red Raiders will get down to about the 7, and they will indeed kick the field goal here. So considering where they were, getting that, 3 points, making it a 2-possession game, okay, you're fine with that. You're fine with that if you're Texas Tech for sure. Make a 2-possession game. Could you have gotten another touchdown there? Probably. You wish you would have, but at the same time, you will definitely take the points and try and make it a 2-possession game. Gino Garcia on. It is a Well, they're not telling us how long this one is. 25 yards, and it's up and through quite easily, and the Red Raiders do, in fact, go up double digits. Love to see it. Love to see it. Listen, could that drive have been better? Yeah, but you're up double digits. That's something you want to see early on for this one. No doubt about it. All right. They are definitely having issues when it comes to the points right now and keeping everybody updated. I will do the best I can on that front, but it is 10-7 or 10-0, excuse me. Was looking right at the 7 for Texas Tech and had a Freudian slip. It is 10-0 Texas Tech. Offense so far looked pretty solid, but I think the big thing for Texas Tech right now is the defense. They've gotten some pressure on Chandler Morris pretty early on in this one. Let's see if they can make it a trifecta and see if they can go out there and really, get a little bit more confidence. And that's the big thing about this game for me. I get it's early on, and we've got a lot more football to play in this one. I want to see Texas Tech get confidence going into Big 12 play, right? Like next week, you are going to play a team in Arizona State that played on Thursday night. They're going to have a little bit longer of a week, right? Hey, let's get some confidence going into Big 12 play in a game that's going to be a lot closer spread-wise than I think a lot of people probably would have expected when the year started, considering Arizona State was picked to finish second to last in the Big 12, only behind Houston. So, or only in front of Houston, excuse me. So get some confidence today if you're the Red Raiders. That's the big thing. Mike, you're 100% right. Texas Tech, when it comes to scripted plays early on, they look fantastic, and then shit hits the fan. You got to be better today. 100% agree on that front. No doubt about it. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. Appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in and, spending some of your Saturday morning going into the afternoon with me. Been live for about 40 minutes. That means we've probably got another 4 hours, which is nuts. But here we are, and I am very excited to spend the day with y'all. Again, scoreboard on the screen is, in fact, wrong. Trying to get it updated. I'm using CBS. Please don't blame me on this front. I'm trying to do the best I can here. Looks like they are really, really delayed. They're finally actually got the clock updated. But we shall see what goes on from there. And need to get that because they are hashtag not a sponsor. Why would I keep them on the screen? Again, Eric Morris, the head coach for UNT, part of those historic Texas Tech Mike Leach teams out in the 806. And he's not the only one. There's a ton of Red Raiders on his coaching staff, including Stephen Hamby. You got Jordan Davis as well, a wide receiver, Brian Keegans, and then you've also got Connor Killian as well. So bunch of Red Raider ties to UNT, most notably the head coach in Eric Morris. This one kicked through the end zone, and UNT will start on their own 25. Of course, you gotta show Eric Morris catching a touchdown against Texas back in the day, right? You got to show that if you're on the screen. There's no doubt about it. And then, of course, if you're showing that game's highlights, you got to show the birthday boy, Michael Crabtree, making that catch against number 1 Texas back in 08. Yeah. Happy birthday, Crabtree, for sure. They'll start at their own 25, move a man in motion, and they're going to get pressure again. Quick slide, and oh my goodness, Texas Tech just absolutely misses on a block there, and they're off to the races. It's a touchdown, UNT. Dog shit coverage. Horrible angle is right. Did not have enough guys on the outside right there. Quick screen pass to the outside. You made one guy miss, but truthfully, Ben Roberts overcommitted. CJ Baskerville was on the opposite hash. Didn't have the angle to get there, and Wyatt Young takes it 75 yards, and just like that, well, it's 10-7. Not ideal stuff right there. Not ideal stuff, to say the fucking least. The score should be updated here soon, but yep, that was really, really bad there. So a couple of things that stood out to me there. The corner for Texas Tech, that was blocking on the outside did a bad job in terms of forcing the wide receiver inward. You want to force the receiver to the outside there, okay? That's what you want to do. You want to force them to the outside because the sideline is your friend. Instead, he went to the inside or the outside, which forced him in, and that gave him the angle. And credit to, I wish I could have seen the number there. I think it might have been Brendan Jordan who actually ran over the UNT defender. The problem is everybody else, was in shitty position past him, including Ben Roberts and CJ Baskerville. So, Texas Tech went down, got a field goal. I don't think 8 tripped the DB. I mean, he was there blocking. The DB actually ran over him, and he just couldn't reach him after that. So, I mean, nothing illegal in my opinion there. Texas Tech was just dog water after in the secondary in terms of, Ben Roberts isn't in the secondary. He's a linebacker, but got to be better there if you're Texas Tech in terms of knowing there's a guy moving in motion, you're playing man. Why the hell are you not following your man? It's that simple. Not too complicated. I just think it was really bad contained on the outside and a terrible angle for CJ. UNT by a field goal. It's possible. I don't think any Red Raiders are going to talk trash here today. I don't think so. Maybe, please let me know. Yeah, Casey, the DB did blitz, but if that's the case, that means you got a linebacker going out for the containment because there's 3 right there. That's why Ben Roberts took a terrible angle. And so, yeah. Yeah, no, David, you're right. That was a good play call, well designed. I like how they actually started that guy at the tight end spot and ran him between the wide receivers on the outside. And then he backed out, rounded about, and then he created momentum so he could run straight. So it was a good play call for sure, but Texas Tech didn't do themselves any favors in terms of the containment on the outside. I mean, tip your cap to UNT, no doubt about it, but, I mean, it is what it is on that front. A freshman too, Wyatt Young. First career TD pass. Now he's doing that was a weird dance. That was a weird dance. No, Micah Hudson has not played a snap yet. UNT will kick it off. It will be Ford, number 29. That is a big old kicker right there. There's no doubt about that. Dre McCray will be back to receive it for Texas Tech. This UNT kick will go back, and Dre will have a chance to not return this one, as this camera angle by Fox is arguably one of the worst in the game. I mean, it's just putrid. Got to be better. Got to be better. No doubt about it. Oh, no, David, I'm right there with you. I think I said that they would score 30. I think my prediction was 44-30 in this game for Texas Tech to win. So, they're definitely going to give up some points. There's no doubt about that for sure. All right, Baron Morton back out there in the crispy reds. I'm sold now. Trips left, Taj Brooks to the left as well. He moves out, flanks to the left, so you got quad left. There, across the middle, Jalen Conyers. That's what we love to see, and that will be a quick first down, or at least very close to it, as Jalen Conyers goes leaping over the UNT bench right there, showing some love to some UNT guys, helping him out. It'll be 2nd and 1. That's what I like to see right there. You got to have more of that. Like, you need the wide receivers and the playmakers to go across the face of Baron Morton and make those easy throws. That is one of the easiest throws a quarterback can make right there, in the sense of just straight right across the middle of the field right there. Conyers comes off. Looks like Micah Hudson is in the slot to the bottom right for the Red Raiders. He indeed is. Nope, just kidding. That is Josh Kelly. And Taj Brooks makes like 4 guys miss. Dre McCray on the field instead, Coy Aiken, but the Red Raiders do get a first down right there as they continue to go quickly. But not turbo. This is what I like to see right here. This is what I like to see from Zach Kittley. You can still go fast and not go turbo. You know what I mean? I think it just helps you out in the long run. Fake handoff, RPO, and Baron Morton avoids 1 sack, tries to get rid of it, does. I don't know if they're going to say that's a throw. Risky play by Baron Morton there as he was clearly going down. Not a smart move. I don't know if they're going to say that was a throw. Made one UNT defender miss, then threw it, got tipped up in the air. I don't know if that's a fumble or not. The back judge said it was. Taj Brooks recovered anyway. And there's a flag on the play here. They're going to say intentional grounding on Baron Morton instead. Yeah, that was a piss-poor decision. But also at the same time, I don't know how this can be intentional grounding when the ball was tipped. Well, it doesn't really matter anyway. Showing the replay, he's down before the ball's out of his hands, so it doesn't matter. So it should just be a sack. Yeah, he was down. But here's the thing. On intentional grounding, it can't be intentional grounding if there was a tip. It's just like pass interference, right? He's clearly down here before the ball's out of his hands. Okay, so it should be a sack, if anything. Where is he down? I believe that's at the 26. Either way, not a great decision by Baron Morton right there in any kind of way, shape, or form. Red Raiders will be at the 27. It is second and a ways. Fake handoff. Baron Morton looking deep. Gets somebody across the middle, and it is who else? Josh Kelly. Of course it is. Use the middle of the field, Kitley. Hell of a job. Hell of a job. We love to see it. Josh Kelly's a pro, ladies and gentlemen. That boy will be drafted in the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft, and if he's not, somebody's getting a hell of a steal later on. He is going to be a very, very good pro for a long time. Is he a superstar? No, at the NFL level, but he is a solid, consistent wide receiver 3 or 4 for a team. There's not a doubt in my mind. Red Raiders pass midfield now at the UNT 47. Fake handoff, RPO across the middle, this time to Caleb Payday Douglas, who gets it down to the UNT 31. The Red Raiders are on the move. 2 really solid throws by Baron Morton after that just bonehead-ass decision, if we're being honest about it. They're zip on the ball for sure. No Micah yet so far. John Carlos Miller out on the field. Listen, right now, I don't think you can complain about Micah right now anyway, with the way the wide receivers are playing. Like, just keep this momentum going. You'll get Micah snaps. Handoff to Taj Brooks, makes a UNT defender miss, but not before an absolutely just really bad block on the outside by the Texas Tech. I believe it was offensive line, maybe John Carlos Miller. It was John Carlos Miller who missed the block there. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button. The Red Raiders are driving right now, well into UNT territory, although it is 2nd and 12 from the UNT 32. 10-7 Red Raiders. That is right, just a little bit behind in terms of the clock there. Clock is running, 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Baron Morton drops back, moves to his right, makes a couple guys miss, throws across the middle. Caught by Caleb Douglas. Excuse me, that's John Carlos Miller III. The Elon transfer. Close to a first down. Great pass pro by Taj Brooks. That is one aspect of his game that NFL evaluators absolutely love. Taj Brooks is a really good running back when it comes to pass protection. And it looks like Texas Tech is going to be about 3 yards short. And in fact, they are. It's 3rd and 3 on the UNT 23-yard line. Handoff to Taj Brooks up the middle, makes a guy miss. It's going to be 2nd or 4th down and short. Go for it here. If this is one I'm comfortable with going for, go for it. Go for this one. He's going to be about half a yard short. You have Taj Brooks now. Go for it. This is one you go for. This is one you're okay if you don't want to not get it, but you understand why they go for it here. Hand it up to Taj up the gut, man. Get a couple of lead blockers here for Taj. And that's exactly what they do. And Taj Brooks is headed to the crib. House call, baby, on 4th and 1. Get those TDs in the damn chat. It's Taj time out in the 806. Love that play call right there by Kitley, too. For those that I didn't explain that well, but they had Jalen Conyers just a little up front, not on the offensive line, but between Baron Morton and the offensive line. You had another lead blocker on the outside there that went straight at the pinpoint of attack because UNT clearly thought that the Red Raiders were going straight up the middle. Instead, Jalen Conyers sets the edge right there. Taj Brooks bounces out right, and he is out and headed to the crib. House call for Taj Brooks because it's always Taj Brooks time out in the 806. Red Raiders once again go up 10, this time 17-7. And excuse me, flip that in terms of the blocking. That was John Carlos Miller. I want to give him credit on that. That was a hell of a lead block by John Carlos Miller and a great job by Ty Buchanan as well. And then at the second level, Mason Tharp really contained that one, well, the only safety that had a chance to get to Taj, and Taj gets into the end zone for a 21-yard touchdown. And Taj Brooks is now at 11 carries for 74 yards in the first quarter. And Baron Morton, outside of that one throw and one just really bad decision, he's been pretty good today. He was really good on that drive right there in terms of actual passes. All right. Looking at the stats right there, you can see them on your screen. Baron Morton, 6 for 8. Doesn't have the added TD there. He does have a passing touchdown for sure, and Taj Brooks does as well. The Red Raiders kick off. 52 seconds left in the first quarter. That ball sails out of the south end zone, and UNT will start at their own 25-yard line. Texas Tech defense, I mean, it played pretty well so far, except for that one really good play call by Eric Morris and UNT. Let's see how they respond after giving a 75-yard TD up. It's a fake run play. They get pressure on him. Throws across the middle. Great throw. I'm not, tip your damn cap. The coverage was there. I mean, that was a sensational throw by Chandler Morris. And there is a flag down. I think it might be holding, but we'll see what they actually get here. It might be roughing the quarterback as well. It is in the UNT backfield. Personal foul, horse collar, and it's on Texas Tech. So undisciplined penalty right there. Personal foul. That'll be 15 yards added on. Just absolutely bonehead material right there. You get pressure, Isaac Smith does, and he pulls Chandler Morris down by a horse collar tackle. Just a simply stupid play. Stupid play. And now UNT is on the Texas Tech side of the field. Just like that. 17-7, quick halfback screen. Great tackle right there. Great tackle right there. Really good stuff by Texas Tech on the outside right there in terms of actually making a play when you need to, when the guy was in front of you, one-on-one, who's going to win, mano-a-mano, and Texas Tech wins it on that one. And that will be the last play of the first quarter as the Red Raiders lead UNT 17-7. All right, let's get those thoughts in here. What are we thinking about this first quarter? Outside of that really one play defensively, and again, that boneheaded play penalty by Isaac Smith there on that drive, on the first play of it, Texas Tech defense has come out and played with the chip on his shoulder, right? I think Baron Morton has looked good. That stat is wrong right there, as I'll try and get the other stats up here for you guys here in just a second in terms of the correct ones. But Baron Morton has a touchdown pass to Josh Kelly. Obviously, big-time stuff there. You love to see it. But, yeah, I mean, so far, so good. Taj Brooks, 12 carries, 84 yards. They say he has 2 touchdowns. That's not true. He has 1. Baron Morton has the other touchdown for the Red Raiders. Threw it to Josh Kelly across the middle of the field there. But so far, I think this team has looked pretty solid in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, pretty solid in terms of the offensive line. Have they looked sensational? By no stretch of the imagination have they. But in terms of what you can expect for a new starting 5 playing, okay, you like what you see. There's that for sure. There's still a little couple kinks to work out, but you look pretty solid up front. You've done a good job of running the football, setting the tone there, opening up some really, really good passing lanes across the middle of the field. And shout out to Jordan Brooks for sustaining a drive right there and making a guy miss on the outside for a 42-yard gain to really get Texas Tech that field goal and why they're up 2 possessions right now. So good stuff from Texas Tech so far. It just feels like there's a sense of urgency, right? Like there's a sense of urgency that we hadn't seen through the first 2 weeks of the season. That's kind of the sense that I get here. Yeah, no, a lot of players are involved early on in this one. In fact, let's go look at the stats in terms of how many different guys have caught a football in this game. I believe it's 5 for the Red Raiders so far. It is indeed 5. You've got Jordan Brown with 2 catches, Josh Kelly with 2 catches, and that touchdown. Did they finally update the stats on the screen? They haven't, which is really annoying. But you've got Caleb Payday Douglas with a catch. You got John Carlos Miller II with the catch, and then Jalen Conyers with the catch as well. So you're spreading the ball around a little bit. There is that sense of urgency, and that's something that stood out for me in this one so far as well. And a big play to start the second quarter for UNT, a run play right up the gut for about 14 yards. We got to stop talking good about Texas Tech, I guess, because bad things happen right after. Another handoff right up the middle, and they stop that one. There you go. Second and about 9.5, maybe 10, depending on where this one is spotted for UNT. I don't know how the hell they're saying 2nd and 7 on the screen right now. There's no way in hell that's 2nd and 7. If he got 3 yards, I'm a 7-footer. I'm a 7-footer. It's that simple. RPO, Chandler Morris goes to the far sideline. Mo Horn's right there. Great defense by Mo Horn. Absolutely locked his ass up on the outside. Great rep there by Mo Horn, the Oklahoma native. Looked back. That's textbook right there. You legitimately cannot teach that any better if you're a DB coach. Looked back early, had his hands up. There you go. 3rd and 7 would be huge to hold UNT to a field goal attempt as they are on the Red Raider 29-yard line, excuse me. Nobody in motion. Fake handoff, RPO. They get pressure, but it's a halfback screen, and the Red Raiders are there, and it's nothing going. Nothing going right now. It is 4th down as Texas Tech has came to play defensively so far in this one. And it looks like UNT might be going for this on 4th and 6. They, in fact, are staying on the field right now, are the Mean Green. Texas Tech gets set, and they're going to call a timeout. Good timeout call there by Joey McGuire. The Red Raiders were not ready for that. Use your timeout. This is a big play in this game. Good job. Good job. Like that timeout call a whole lot. Also, makes UNT second guess it, think a little bit more. Do we actually really want to do this? Right now, as it stands, it is 4th and 6 on the Red Raider 29-yard line. It would be about a 46-yard field goal for UNT if they decide to do that, but it looks like they're going to go for it. Coach Morris is talking to, his QB Morris, no relation. It will be 4th and 6, 13:48 remaining. Watch out for the motion here if you're Texas Tech. Watch out for motion. As it stands right now, it is trips right, double at the top for UNT. Nobody in the backfield except for the starting quarterback, Chandler Morris. Texas Tech with 3 down linemen. Why are we showing the kicker? He's not on the field. And they snap it. Chandler Morris looking for somebody across the middle, and they got it. Crossing route right there, but Ward, the UNT wide receiver, is down. Had a bunch of weight land on that left shoulder. He's having a hard time getting up. Damn. Hopefully he's all right, and it was just a wind knocked out of him situation. But they ran trips left, or trips right, excuse me, and they hell of a throw by Morris. Just literally, I'm not kidding. I think he got that ball over the hand of Ben Roberts by maybe 4 inches. Well, Mike, I mean, it was a 3-man rush because they had 5 wide. You got to have the bodies out there. They're clearly going to pass. Then you have the spy right there. That's exactly what Ben Roberts was on Chandler Morris. So I don't mind the coverage call there. Just hell of a throw placement, honestly. Hell of a throw placement by Chandler Morris right there. Because, listen, Ben Roberts was in the right spot. Sometimes you just tip your cap, even if it frustrates the hell out of you. And that one's definitely frustrating, especially on 4th and 6th. And now UNT is in the Red Raider red zone. 1st and 10 down at the Texas Tech 11. So they can pick up a first down before getting into the end zone. They switch off as they move a man in motion. Is a handoff up the middle, and Texas Tech is there, and then some. Great job by DeBraylon Carroll and Duda Banks wrapping it up, and it will be 2nd down and long for the UNT offense. They've had a pass rush. They've had a pass rush for sure, more so than the first 2 games. Now, I don't know if that's saying much, but they've been more contained focused on this, going into their proper rush lanes, and they've been getting to the quarterback pretty good, and this is a hell of a design play. Only 1 down lineman over the ball. Now they move 2, 3. They have 5 guys as they move another one in motion there to the top of the screen. It's a fake jet sweep, and they get Chandler Morris on the outside, and they wrap him up. That's a hell of an interesting play call. So set it up right here. When they initially came out of the huddle, UNT, they had 1 down lineman on the line of scrimmage. It was the center. They sent 2 more that were right next to the quarterback to the right of the offensive lineman, a.k.a. the center, the only guy out there. The other 2 offensive linemen were set up on the line far out by the boundary with covering 2 guys, including a tight end and a wide receiver. I shouldn't say covering. They were technically on the line as well. But that was a unique play call right there, as it was clearly a quarterback run as they sent a wide receiver in motion towards them to show a little bit of eye candy. It did not work. It is 3rd and 11 for UNT as the clock winds down. They send the RB in motion. Chandler Morris steps back. 3-man rush for the Red Raiders out to the running back. Got to make a tackle here if you're Texas Tech, and they swarm them. Don't know if they go for the touchdown here. It will be a long 4th down. But, I mean, they did go for 4th and 6 earlier, but that was because it was a 46-yard field goal. It looks like UNT will, in fact, send out the field goal unit much closer to the end zone here. It will be about 4th and 7, and it will be about about less than 30-yard field goal for UNT here, similar to what the Red Raiders kicked early on in that one. That was a really good defensive performance. After giving up that 4th down one, they went in, limited the damage, bend, don't break. You'd much rather them kick a field goal. It will be 26 yards to be exact. A bad snap, up, and he missed it. He missed it. Hell of a defensive performance. Let's go. Let's get the D's in the chat. Come on. No pause. No pause. D's in the chat. Come on. I don't see that's the thing. Noah, I get the bailout mentality there. I don't think it's a bailout. That's forcing UNT to do something that they're not good at. Their kicker, his long career field goal was 30 yards. You force them into a situation where they're not good. They obviously aren't very good at snapping the football there when it comes to special teams either. That's on them, right? That's good defense right there. Now Texas Tech has to go down and get 7. Really make them pay. No pause, John. We'll say D on this chat all day. No pause. No pause. Again, we've got quite a few people in here. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, be active in the chat. Thousands of Red Raiders tune into this each and every week. The first 2 weeks combined, right? We've had over 25,000 people tune into these. Appreciate each and every one of you guys sharing them. A lot of fun doing this. Also, let me go give a couple shout outs for those that maybe retweeted it over on Twitter. I'll give it a good old retweet and see who liked it real fast. We've got Nathan, we've got Brett, Carlos, John, Jacob, Campbell, Dustin, Sophia. Appreciate y'all tuning in from the Twitter sphere. And then Devontae asks, RC, when are you coming out to the 806? I'm coming out for the Colorado game. I will be out there on November 9th. So I'm coming out to watch the Texas Tech men's basketball team play at home on the 8th. And then I will be at the Colorado game on the 9th. So, again, I talked about it a little bit last week, and I think the week prior. We will be having a bit back to 12 get-together for those that will be out in the 806 for the Colorado game. We'll be doing it probably at a local brewery because, well, listen, I like beer. I hope you like beer, and if you don't like beer, that's okay too, right? No pressure. But I like beer, so I want to be around it. I want to get some good beer, and some of my favorite breweries are out in the 806, so we'll be putting something together for sure out there. So that's the first time I will be heading out to the 806. Will be for the Colorado game when Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes are set to invade the 806. The Red Raiders, touchdown, field goal, touchdown on their first 3 possessions. They've run 23 total plays for just over 200 yards. You like to see that. I am based out of the Metroplex. Yep, I live in Dallas. Run play to Cam Dickey to the left side, and he makes a guy miss and then some, and a quick little 10-yard run for the true freshman. Man, I can't help but get excited about Cam Dickey, man. He's Taj Brooks 2.0. He really is. He's so effing good, dude. He's so good. But yeah, I live in my wife and I, we live in Dallas. Red Raiders up 17-7, 10:40 remaining in the second quarter. Cam Dickey out there as they got trips right. And Coy Aiken's wide open, and the Red Raiders have a touchdown. A big-time play for the Red Raiders. Get those TDs in the damn chat right now. We love a good RPO here on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. That was an absolute laser by Baron Morton. Placed it right over the UNT defender on a line where only his guy could get it, Coy Aiken. And then Coy Aiken said, when mama comes calling, where do you head? You head to the crib. And that's where he headed right there. Touchdown, Red Raiders. They needed 7. They got 7. It is 24-7, Red Raiders, after the PAT from Gino Garcia. Who doesn't love a good RPO, play action? I mean, who doesn't love it? Who doesn't love it? I know I do. I know you do. That's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of performance you needed by the Red Raiders today. I get why people were down. I was right there with you in some aspects of it. But you had to come out, and you had to have a quick start, and you had to have a sustained start, right? Don't just give me these first 2 drives bullshit. And they haven't. Hell of a job by the Red Raiders. That was a sensational throw by Baron Morton. An absolute fucking laser. I mean, if you give him 10 opportunities to throw that football, that's probably the best one he throws right there. And he did it in live game action. Just unbelievable throw. Critical of Baron when he had that boneheaded play. But that's really been the only play that Baron has looked bad today. Arizona Tea enjoyer. Me too. I really like the Arnold Palmer ones. I digress. That's the ADHD in me. But yeah, this is why it's hard to start Micah right now with 10 targets a game. Our wide receiver room is stacked. I don't think it's getting Micah 10 targets a game, personally. I think it's more of seeing him on the field and using him in certain creative ways, right? Like if you're moving a guy in motion, why not have that with Micah Hudson, right? He provides a certain skill set that really not many wide receivers in that room have in terms of his versatility and being able to line up in unique positions, whether you want him on the outside, the slot, right on the line right there. We've seen that one time. Also, he can line up in the backfield. So that's kind of why I think people are, wanting to see more of Micah. But that being said, the wide receiver group is good. I just think personally, how do I say this without being mean? I think it's a weak-ass excuse. There's no real way for me to say this in terms of just not being mean. I think it's a weak-ass excuse by Joey McGuire in terms of who are we going to take off the field. It's your damn job. Figure it out, right? Like You're the one that hyped him up. You're the one that got people excited about him. Play him a little bit. And if not, tell us why he's not playing. That's kind of what I'm about. But, yeah, I do agree. I think we will see more Micah in this one. You just got to rotate him in there a little bit. I'm not asking for him to start. Just get him 15, 20, 25 snaps a game, whatever that looks like, right? Like, that's it. That's it. I'm not asking him to be a savior or anything like that. I'm just asking him to use these special players that they have in this wide receiver room. That's it. Yeah, and McCray and Brown should be playing too. They are ahead of Hudson, but they should be playing. But that doesn't mean that you can't figure out creative ways to get Hudson on the field. That's it. I'm not asking him to be the leading wide receiver or anything like that. Nothing. That's Josh Kelly. End of story. I do think if Texas Tech continues to play like this, you'll see plenty of Micah Hudson today, though. Debbie, I hear what you're saying. Debbie says if Micah isn't better than some of these players, he's not what's promised. Just say it. I get where you're coming from, but you also have to remember this too. Joey McGuire did not do Micah any favors in terms of the quote saying that when is Micah going to make an impact and saying week 1. I think he put himself in a corner there that Joey probably would like to have back because you got to remember what Micah was dealing with this offseason. He did not go through spring camp. He was not 100% when fall camp started. He was 100% about a weekend. He was not obviously at the top of the depth chart there. He was learning a new playbook. He was doing this, that, and the other, and really just adapting to life as a true freshman as the RPO is kept. And nice play right there by UNT as Texas Tech collapsed on the run, but a nice just little wide receiver moving screen out on the left side there gets UNT their first down of this drive. They roll Chandler Morris out, and it's picked. It's picked off. And the Red Raiders are going down the field. Braylon Lux is going to take it to the crib. It's a house call. Pick six. Get it in the damn chat. Oh, buddy, the Red Raiders came to play. The Red Raiders came to play today. This is what I was talking. This is the secondary I thought we were talking about here. Come on. Like the damn video if you haven't already. Come on. Let's get this chat moving. Hell of a job by Braylon Lux right there. Hell of a job. Hell of a job. That's what you need to see. Yeah. Christopher Lyle is at the game, I believe. Miller, it's UNT. Well, it was Abilene Christian. So, hey, you can judge if you want about us getting excited about it. It was Abilene Christian, right? And Texas Tech shit the bed there. They made adjustments. You shit on people, you have to give them their flowers too, right? That's how this thing works, man. You can't be critical all the time. Texas Tech has come out today and shut a lot of people up and did exactly what they're supposed to do. So give them their flowers when that happens. Period. End of story. That's how this shit works. Stuart, let's figure something out here. Let's figure something out in terms of playing all 11 at home. Yeah, Danny, the blocking after the pick was good there too. Correct me if I'm wrong. It felt like Texas Tech had at least 4 guys blocking for him in terms of leading the cavalry, right? So that was pretty big there too. And again, 31-7, 9:50 remaining. This is what you wanted to see from Texas Tech. You wanted to come out and you wanted to see them respond to shit. That's what you wanted to see. All right. UNT back out starting at their own 25. Double wide receivers on top of the screen and to the bottom. They move a guy in motion. Chandler Morris with, oh, that ball's up in the air. It's another pick. It's another pick. Get the INT in the damn chat. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Bryce Ramirez. Here we go, boys. Come on. Come on. Get it in the damn chat. Get those D's in the chat. Come on. Come on. Come on. Not going to lie. We'll take luck when luck happens. And that was a good decision by Chandler Morris, except for the fact the wide receiver tried to catch it with his face. He tried to catch it with his face. Big D. No pause. We don't pause on this channel. No pause. Big D. The D has been big here so far for Texas Tech. No pause. No pause. We love to see it. Get 7 here, boys. Hit him in the fucking jugular. Get 7. Come on. Baron Morton. It's a flea flicker. He goes deep to Mason Thorpe. PI. I think every flag that the refs are allowed to have was just thrown onto the field. Also, again, I've been critical of Zach Kitley. I have so far in this game, A++ material type stuff. Taking the shot right there after UNT is demoralized, great call. I love it. I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, it's college football. That will only be 15 yards, but the Red Raiders are now, I believe, in the red zone already. And they are down on the UNT 10. Baron Morton, 8 for 10, 192 yards, 2 TDs. Jalen Conyers moves in motion. It's a handoff. Fake handoff. There's Baron. It's 37-7. Put it in the damn chat. Get the TDs in there, boys. Come on. Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a good RPO? Who doesn't love a good RPO? And my neighbors are so pissed at me right now, just yelling, who gives a shit? Let's go, Red Raiders. It's 37-7. Get the TDs in the damn chat right now. Hell yeah, these are big TDs. We don't pause on here. Again, this is what you wanted to see. This is exactly what y'all wanted to see, right? This is exactly what you wanted to see. This is a big time game. Big time performance. This is one you needed if you were Texas Tech. There's no doubt about it. 38-7, and we are not even midway through the second quarter. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to butcher your name, and I apologize. Rife, is 37 points in 21 minutes good? Technically, I mean, I feel like that might be good. I didn't go to Texas Tech for math, though. So let me know if that's good. Feels like it could be good. RC, where will you be celebrating? On my couch, probably, after I enjoy today with you guys. There's a long way to go, though, people. This game is far from over, but Texas Tech, so far, so good. This is what you want to see, but you need to finish this out and really, really ensure that you're in a good spot going into conference play. Danny, yeah, I think that might have been the second one, right? Did he not have one against ACU? Am I wrong on that? Either way, one of the first two, that was brilliant play calling right there. Kitley has been phenomenal. Been phenomenal so far. No doubt about it. Whoa, John, let's not do that. Let's not bring Miss Maxfield into the chat. She's having a good old time with friends today, out because she doesn't want to hear me screaming at a TV. I'm feeling good. Mostly, Noah asked how I'm feeling. I'm feeling good, but again, job's not finished. Kobe Bryant gift, job's not finished, right? You got to go out there. This was a game. I talked about it all week, basically every video I did. This is a confidence type game for Texas Tech because next week is the real deal, right? Like your goals and aspirations, if you're Texas Tech, are still well within reach, right? Because you haven't started Big 12 play, but you've been more disciplined. You have one penalty, and it was on a horse collar tackle that was just bad by Isaac Smith, but your offensive line has looked solid, right? You've looked good in the secondary. You've gotten pressure on the quarterback. You've been sure tackled so far. And not to mention, Baron Morton has had a couple of really good throws. You've run the football well. All in all, I don't know how you can be too upset right now with what's going on, as this Texas Tech kick will go into the back of the end zone, and UNT will go from north to south at the Jones. All right, real quick, let's talk about some stats real quick. Baron Morton, 8 for 10, 191 yards, two TDs so far, Taj Brooks, the leading rusher, with 11 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. You've also got Baron Morton with 2 rushing attempts, 11 yards, and 1 touchdown. Baron Morton currently has a 306 QB rating. For those that don't know, that'll play. Danny Lyle feeling bad for Emo right now? I sure fucking hope he does. Run it up. Run it up. Like I said yesterday on the podcast, run this bitch up. I like Emo every day of the year, just a little less today. A little less today, and everybody knows why. This one's run up the middle. Another sure tackle there. That was actually really good run blocking by UNT. I thought they'd get more there, but Texas Tech came in and made a sure tackle at 2nd and 7. Only one penalty so far for Texas Tech. No surprise UNT ran the football there. They'll probably pass here after having 2 back-to-back INTs, and there's a run again, but another sure tackle. This one from Bryce Ramirez, who had that second interception and is now 3rd and, I'd say about medium, maybe more likely short here. 3rd and 3, so 3rd and short. 38-7. Yes, you are reading that on your screen correctly. Red Raiders up in this one. Another run play, and they stop them in the backfield. Oh, buddy, did they come to play today? Did they come to play today? Listen, I had Texas Tech scoring 44 points in this game. They may have this on the next drive. This is what you needed to see, right? Like, again, the game is far from over. This is just the start. I get it, right? But here's the thing, and I see some people saying this in the chat. They've also said it in my mentions, like on Twitter, where it's like, it's early. It's like, yeah, but you wanted Texas Tech to come out and make a statement early, and that one they're going to clear out, and they'll start on their own 25-yard line with the Red Raiders. After that punt, Josh Kelly cleared out of the way. I do think we probably see Micah here in the not-too-distant future. Good defense. Stay calm, RC. That's not my name. The C in RC does not stand for calm. Baron Morton back out there. 38-7 Red Raiders. And it's a pitch to Taj to the outside. See ya. He could go a ways here. Just a casual about 17, maybe even 20-yard gain to start this one. Zach Kitley's been in his bag today. Zach Kitley has been in his bag today so far. And so has this Texas Tech offensive line. They have been really, really solid. Taj Brooks, 3 yards short of the century mark. Texas Tech now at their own 48-yard line. The handoff to Taj Brooks from left to right makes a guy miss, somehow gets back to the line of scrimmage, and is up over 100 yards. That is just a quintessential Taj Brooks run where it looks like you have no reason to get a yard, let alone 3. And he made legitimately everyone on the UNT defensive line go on skates and then somehow get 3, maybe even 4 yards out of it. 133 yards rushing for Texas Tech. They'll look to add here. Taj Brooks up the middle. He gets another 6 yards. Looks like he got 6. I don't know. I feel like these lines are off on television. They said they only got 4 there. That does not look right, but it'll be 3rd and 3 for Texas Tech. John, you're right on Florida State. They're losing right now, I believe, by 10 at home to Memphis. Was that correct? Somebody help me out there. Got some more scores at the bottom of your screen. Jalen Conyers moves in motion there. Fake handoff across the middle, and it's a tutty. John Carlos Miller III, get the TDs in the chat right now. The play action is working wonders. The RPO are working wonders for the Red Raiders so far. Oh, yeah, they called a penalty because he dunked the ball, right? Nah, who gives a shit? I get it. I get people being frustrated by that, but he was excited. That's his first high major TD. It's a dumb penalty, 100%. Like, it's a bad penalty for sure, but I can understand that one a little bit more than some of these other dumb ones. I mean, that was just a great play call, though. You know Texas Tech is in a blowout right now. When I have right now, this is the first time I've looked at my text messages today. And, well, since we started the stream, so about 90 minutes ago, I have 427 text messages. Yeah. That's a lot. It's a lot. This one will be able to be returned. It's 45-7. They get this one up to about their own 30. I think they're going to call them just short. In fact, they will. UNT will start this drive on their own 29. Danny, you're 100% right. He did catch that touchdown on the Koy Aiken ball, didn't he? Good call. Good call, Danny. Texas Tech defense back out there, 45-7 with 6 minutes remaining. On the day where Wes Welker, Thomas Howard, and Andre Tillman will go in. Oh, it's another pick! It's another pick! Get the INT into the chat right now. The Red Raiders could put a 50-burger on UNT in the first half. Wow, Chapman Lewis with the INT. I mean, my score prediction's already wrong. They've already scored more points. UNT in absolute shambles right now on the sideline. This is a confidence booster. We absolutely, Mike, the Red Raiders needed this game. They will start out this drive on the UNT 30. Taj Brooks in the backfield, Coy Aiken to the far left. You've got Josh Kelly and Caleb Payday Douglas at the top of the screen with Mason Tharp in at tight end. Handoff, Taj Brooks makes one guy miss, gets turned around. It will be a loss to start the drive as UNT gets a good little defensive play there to stop. No, agreed, Danny. Yeah, the last two picks really haven't been on him, on Morris, the quarterback for UNT. I mean, they hit the guy right in the hands. This one out to Caleb Payday Douglas. Good lead block right there, and they get back the loss and then some, making it a manageable third down. Still no Micah Hudson in this one, but I think that will be one of the smallest stories from this, as the Red Raiders have a chance to put up 50 on UNT in the first half. Morton set for the snap as Dre McCray moves from left to right. Morton across the middle gets the first down to the aforementioned Dre McCray, and the Red Raiders are in business in the UNT red zone. You got to love people in your Twitter mentions that are just negative all the time. It's like, you know, I'm going to use Debbie, for example. Debbie, don't get mad at me if you're still watching. Debbie has been a Debbie Downer, no pun intended, the first two games. And guess what? She had every right to be. But to her credit here in the chat, she has been sensational today, giving guys credit, this, that, and the other. That's how you should be, right? Be critical when you need to be critical, but give flowers when guys deserve to get flowers for playing well. And the Red Raiders have done that and then some today. I mean, they deserve a ton of credit for responding the way that they have. I don't give a shit if they're playing air, okay? The way that they have played today has been awesome, period, end of story. All right, it is third in, they say 3. These lines are just so messed up on Fox. It's third and a ways to go. They can get a first down before getting into the end zone. They move Caleb Douglas in motion to Jalen Conyers, and it's a 50-burger. Get those 50s in the chat right now. Let's go. $50-burger in the first half. What we got in the chat? Let's give a couple shout outs for everybody. Again, like the video if you're excited about this right now. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it any better if you're the Red Raiders, right? Simple and plain. You just couldn't. Again, like the video if you're excited about this Texas Tech performance. We'll give a few shout outs here in just a second. Here we go. We've got the 50 burgers. That's where we're going back to. I was like Emelo. I feel bad for Emo. I don't. This is football. Be better. I don't think anybody felt bad for Texas Tech when they shit the bed last week. Simple and plain. It's the game, brother. Make adjustments. He's a Red Raider legend. Got nothing against him, but like I said earlier, I like him a little less today. Just a little less. Who we got? Cowboy season, 50 burger. Stewart, 50 burger. Mike, 50 burger. Noah, 50. Anthony, 50. Brian, 50. Gavin, 50. Relic saying stop the tempo plays. No, run it up. Gavin, burgers emoji. Sippy, eye emoji. C Shiner 21, 50. Relic, 50. Or Reckham. Ryan, 50. Right, TD. There it is. And talking about the 50 burger, the Red Raiders have 7 touchdowns today. North Texas has 7 total points. Trips left to the top of the screen for UNT after throwing an interception, and it's a run play, and Texas Tech is right there. They are right there and then some. The Red Raiders came to play today. That D is standing out in Lubbock. No pause. No pause. Dropped it back to passes Morris. He dumps it off to the running back. Texas Tech there, though. Sure tackling again. That's the thing that stood out to me. Listen, you got 52 points, right? You got 52 points. Your offense has looked really good, but you've been put in some really good positions. It's almost a 180 of what you had to deal with the last couple of weeks, right? Where your offense was putting your defense in really shitty positions. Now your defense is putting your offense in really good positions today against North Texas as we head out to the 2-minute timeout. Again, the Red Raiders showing their will today. Came in as 10.5-point favorites, and they took it personal. They took it personal and then some. The Red Raiders lead it 52-7. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. 52-7 at the 2-minute timeout in the first half. Yeah, you heard that right. 52-7. Unbelievable. This is the team Joey was talking about. Where the fuck was it the first 2 weeks? Again, be critical when they're not playing well, but when they're playing well and then some, give them their flowers. They heard the criticism. They went in and they made adjustments to Texas Tech, and they're not going to stop people. Like you're going to see backups play for sure, but you're going to see Texas Tech really try and get a lot of confidence for not only their starters, but their backups too. That's what's going to happen. Stuart, why are you waiting until 1:30? Drink it now. Oh, unless you're on the East Coast. Maybe it is 1:30 there. Sorry. Time zones are a thing. You know what I mean? 52-7. You heard that right. I mean, you should see Micah Hudson in the second half. I think you should see a lot of Brown and even maybe Will Hammond a little bit. This could be probably one of those Will Hammond games. Yeah, why wait to drink right now? Poor UNT. They picked the wrong week to play the Red Raiders. I don't think it's poor UNT anything. This is football, baby. They don't feel bad for you when you get your ass kicked. Why feel bad for them? That's just part of the game. It's just part of the game, man. Trust me, we see it in these comments. I mean, the first week, there was a ton of ACU supporters. I don't even would call them fans, just supporters hoping that Texas Tech would lose, you know? That's just how it is. We'll see if Micah plays. Starter, it's a good point. You have Brooks. I mean, I don't think you can give all the credit to Brooks for this, though. But to say that he changes everything offensively, you would be right. Yeah, Brooks is a huge proponent for this team to do good things. There's no doubt about that. Chandler Morris, since the first quarter, has 4 completions and 3 interceptions. Granted, 2 of those interceptions are not his fault. Just simple and plain. They're not his fault. His wide receivers were booty cheeks. But it happens. It's 3rd and 10. Can the Texas Tech defense get another stop? It looks like they might blitz. Instead, they drop back. And it's a screen right there, but they're on it. And they make a tackle. And it will be 4th and 5 for UNT at their own 30. I mean, at this point, if you're UNT, you go for it, right? Like, what the hell do you have to lose? Nope, they're punting. All right, fair enough. Texas Tech has a chance to put up 59 points in the first half. 59. Oh, I would love to run some pass plays, but I am here's what I'll say. If you put me in at quarterback for Texas Tech, I'd probably shit my pants. That's why I try not to be too critical of these guys. Like, they're doing a job that very few people could, right? Like, in terms of actually trying to meet expectation and the pressure they have on them. So, I'm hard on them sometimes, but also at the same time, like I've been saying multiple times, give them their flowers, right? Give them their flowers. They deserve it. Keep Morton in there, but sit Taj so Morton gets used to playing with his security blanket. Without his security blanket. Okay. Maybe for like a drive or two, though, Matt. I don't want it to be for the whole second half because you need to get somebody out there as they punt this one away. UNT does. Josh Kelly back to receive it. Looks like he's fair caught it. He does, and it's running into the pass catcher again. Texas Tech will start this drive out on their own 45. You talked about Texas Tech being not disciplined for the first 2 weeks. UNT has just not been disciplined. It's been bad, especially on special teams. But back to what I was saying, at least I can try to remember my thought process. I don't want Baron Morton to be out there too long, maybe a drive or two in the second. But not too long without Taj, just in the sense of, hey, I don't want any kind of potential injury because your backup quarterbacks don't have a lot of run. I do want to see Cam throw some passes. I would even love to see Will Hammond potentially, but I would be pretty surprised if you see Taj Brooks in the second half here. As the Red Raiders will start this drive on their own 44, 1 timeout remaining, 1:42 remaining in the second half, and they're up 52-7. Dre McCray runs in motion here. Runs back in motion. It is indeed going to Dre McCray, who cuts up field and gets a little bit of movement and gets about to the 50, 1 yard short to the Red Raider 49. Texas Tech moving quickly, but not in turbo, it looks like. 1:30 remaining, and it is in fact turbo, excuse me. The offensive line is set. The receivers are set. Barron gets the snap off, looks downfield, finds somebody. It'll be Taj Brooks across the middle. Excuse me. Is that Jacoby Williams? Jacoby Williams with Micah Hudson in the game as well, it looks like. Yes, Micah Hudson at the top of the screen. Baron Morton running for his life, throws it away. Good decision by B. Moore. You've got a true freshman running back in there right now in Jacoby Williams getting some run, which you love to see. I don't think you see Taj Brooks anymore. Taj Brooks, donezo for the day. Dunzo for the day. Good job, Brody. You got your 100 yards. You got what you needed to be on pace still in the games you have remaining to get to where you need to be, but you're good to go. Morton looks hurt. I don't know what you're watching right now. Drop off to Conyers. Has to make one guy miss. Unfortunately, doesn't do it, and the Red Raiders will have 3rd and 11 with about 50 seconds remaining here. Oh, I didn't see him walking. I bet you it was just because he had to run for his freaking life right there, you know? Sometimes you just got to run for your life, and it happens. Micah Hudson at the top of the screen for the Red Raiders, as is Jacoby Williams in the backfield. Coy Aiken, Jalen Conyers, Dre McCray, 27 seconds left. 3rd and 11 for Baron Morton in the shotgun. Jacoby Williams to his right. Baron snaps it, looks across the middle, has a guy in his face. It looks like there was a timeout called, and it will be indeed from UNT. I mean, could you have written a better script for Texas Tech in the first half? I don't think you could have. I mean, this is about as good of a script as you could have written, right? If you're Texas Tech, in terms of just confidence going into the game. Again, if you haven't already, we got about 100 people in here right now. We don't have 100 likes. So like the video if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the 100% free content, opinions, getting to hear your voice heard in the chat, like the video and hit that subscribe button while you're at it for 100% free Texas Tech football and men's basketball content all year long. All right. 3rd and 11, 22 seconds left. Texas Tech has one timeout. Dre McCray moves in motion. Micah Hudson at the top of the screen. Fake handoff to Dre McCray. Baron Morton looks to the right side of the field, has it, and it is incomplete. Great defense right there by number 7. It looked like it was a wheel route by Taj Brooks. I'm over here saying Taj Brooks won't play anymore, and here we are. Weird spot for Texas Tech, though, in sense of where they are. Also, Taj Brooks almost mossed that motherfucker. Holy shit. But it will be 4th and 11. I would assume they punt here. They will. With 15 seconds left, good call. Just pin them deep. First punt of the day for Texas Tech comes with 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Oh, that's a spicy one. Burgess could have placed it down there any better. Oh, just a great punt. It was recovered at the 11. Great punt right there for Texas Tech. 7 seconds remaining in the first half. A first half where the Red Raiders just absolutely went nuclear on both sides of the ball. Absolutely nuclear. And on a day that you've got 3 members going into the Texas Tech Ring of Honor, most notably Wes Welker, alongside Thomas Howard and Andre Tillman as well. Texas Tech has come out in the first half and just absolutely obliterated, dominated, and enforced their will in all 3 aspects of the football game, most notably on defense with 3 interceptions, all 3 of them coming on about a 7-pass duration by UNT. And that will take us to halftime. It is 52-7. Red Raiders. Let me know your one word to describe that first half by the Texas Tech Red Raiders. You're on pace for 100 burger. That's true. You're on pace for one. Yeah, let's look at the stats real quick. We'll actually go over here and look at them from the standpoint of this website. I will take myself off the screen so y'all can look at them real quick. Read them out loud before I go take a short break real quick and mute the mic. The Red Raiders, again, 3 tackles for loss in this one, an interception apiece for Chapman Lewis, Braylon Lux, who had a pick 6, and then Bryce Ramirez, who had one as well. Those are the standouts on the defensive side of the football. As for the offense for the Red Raiders, you have Baron Morton with 3 touchdown passes. You've got Jalen Conyers with one of those touchdown catches, John Carlos Miller, and then Josh Kelly, as well as Coy Aiken on there. They are also giving, hey, a 10-yard reception throw for Jalen Conyers, which is really weird. That should be a pass for Baron Morton. He should have – that's the wrong stat right there. Baron Morton should have 4 TDs. So I don't know why they're giving that to Jalen Conyers. But Taj Brooks has looked sensational, 17 carries, 109 yards, and a TD, averaging about 6.4 yards per carry. Cam Dickey also looking really, really good for the Red Raiders on this one. And you see the stats are still updating a little bit. But Red Raiders overall looked absolutely sensational in the first half, a game that you had to have just really a confidence boost, right? You needed a confidence boost. That's what you needed. And that's exactly what Texas Tech got. So I'm going to go here at halftime, go to the bathroom. Be back in about 5 minutes. Again, let me know your one word in the comment section to describe that 52-7 first half beatdown by the Red Raiders. All right, I am back. Let's take a look around the country, shall we? And see what's going on elsewhere in, well, college football. Obviously, the Red Raiders lead the way with a 52-7 lead at halftime. They have been sensational outside of really one play for Texas Tech. That 75-yard touchdown They've literally done maybe everything perfect so far in this one. You've got Alabama, the number 4 team in the country, up in Madison, facing off against the Wisconsin Badgers and Luke Fickell's squad. They lead 21-3 to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Elsewhere in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, the number 13 Cowboys, lead the Tulsa Hurricanes in Tulsa 28-0 at halftime. A little bit of a surprise down in the SEC, though, with South Carolina up 2 possessions, 24-10 against Brian Kelly and the number 16 LSU Tigers. Hot seat question mark for Brian Kelly. You've got Michigan rebounding against Arkansas State. The Red Wolves, Jonesboro's finest in the Red Wolves there out in Ann Arbor. Elsewhere, you've got Illinois hanging on to a 7-point lead at Central Michigan. And then the lowly DJUs, a.k.a. the Florida State Seminoles, a.k.a. I'm going to be in court because I deserve to make more money, a.k.a. get me out of the ACCs, FSU Florida State Seminoles, are losing at home 13-3 against the Memphis Tigers. Elsewhere, a team that was supposed to be highly touted out of the ACC, NC State, is losing to, well, Sonny Cumbie and the La Tech Bulldogs out in Raleigh. Cincinnati up on Miami of Ohio. Boston College. Okay, maybe Missouri just hadn't played anybody yet. Is Bill O'Brien the truth up there in Boston? Leading the Golden Eagles 14-3 against number 6 Missouri in Columbia. And then you've got Massachusetts in Buffalo, the lowly bowl that no one gives a shit about. Up in Buffalo, the Bulls lead that one 7-0 over the Minutemen. I'm telling you, no one gives a shit about that game. I'm just. Sometimes you gotta be blunt. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes you gotta be blunt. Yeah, you gotta be blunt about things. Again, how we feeling, everybody? I'll read some tweets off. I had some people. I put out a tweet where I said, "What's your one word to describe that 52-7 Texas Tech first half?" A lot of y'all mentioned it as well. Let me go see if I can find some of these. Domination, right? Disciplined. Love it. Statement. Yes. Play action. Confidence. I don't know why Wazoo was mentioned. That was weird. And then perfection. A lot of good words right there for sure. Some of the ones that were read off. What's your one word to describe that 52-7 Texas Tech first half? Finally, Big 12 champs. Natty on the way. You gotta love Twitter, people. You gotta love it. Anticipatory. Lifetime contracts for the coaching staff is the obvious move. That was not one word, but here we are. An abbreviation, WHLW, meaning what happened last week, responded. Another one word, play Micah Hudson in the second half. Flabbergasted, finally, more, finally. DT equals different team. This is the team we should have been week 1. Finally, stunned, back. Contented, annoying. I don't know how it's annoying. I'm pretty damn happy right now. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty happy. Beautiful, confidence, natty, more. Parlays, finally, fun. Doppelgangers, question mark? Yes, need to see this conference play on the road. Fun, finally. It had over 45 responses to that, so I appreciate everybody tuning in on that front. So a lot of fun for Texas Tech in the first half there. You'd think you're going to get to see a lot of the backups for sure. I think you're going to see quite a few of them. I'd be pretty surprised if you see Baron Morton except for maybe a drive or two. All right. One more time, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button. We just passed the 2-hour mark. Your Red Raiders are up 52-7. No, that is not a typo on that screen that you are looking at right now. So again, if you want 100% free, 100% authentic, 100% everything Texas Tech every day for Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long, all you got to do is like the video and hit that subscribe button. And what better time than now? I mean, you're excited about what's going on right now. And if you're not, I don't know how the hell you aren't. 52-7 with kickoff for the second half. Not too, well, far off right now. Also, random question. Is Martha Stewart back in everybody's good graces? I've always loved Martha and the Snoop Dogg dichotomy that they've got going on, the friendship or whatever you want to call it. But I didn't know she was back in the good graces. Just saw her on a commercial there. So yeah, Mike, sorry, that was random. I know. You're going to get some random stuff here. You're going to get some random stuff, especially during halftime. We keep it business, just like Texas Tech did in the first half. But I saw a commercial with her on the screen for like JCPenney or something. Hashtag not a sponsor, but I was just like, damn, I didn't realize that she was a thing still. My mind wanders. Shout out to the ADHD, I guess. Also, they're showing the Memphis and Florida State highlights. Oh, Florida State's is just buns. They're just buns. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They're just buns. Got it. What adjustments do you make in the second half? I mean, it's hard to be critical right now. The thing that I would probably like to see a little bit more than anything on the defensive side of the football is more on the interior. I think the defensive line could be a little bit better in terms of, I understand they're running 3 down linemen and it's worked because UNT wants to throw the football. So that's a smart game plan by Coach DeRuiter. And I think Texas Tech has done a really, really good job of setting the edge where Chandler Morris feels like he has to stay in there and make really, really tough throws. And his wide receivers haven't helped him a couple times in terms of just flat out just dropping the ball or having it go off their face in Texas Tech. Intercepting it and being in good field position. But I think I would rather see them, Texas Tech, not rather, but I do want to see them be better in the middle of that defense with the DTs and everything like that. Because they've looked solid at times, but there's also been a couple of times where they've just really gotten moved off of their point of attack. And that's something that I think Texas Tech can't afford to do going into Big 12 play. So you want to see them build confidence in terms of staying at their point of attack and them actually dictating what's going on in the trenches. So that's one thing that stands out. Also, another thing that I want to see that isn't really an adjustment, it's just I want to see a continuation of it, and I really don't give a damn who the quarterback is. I want to see the offensive line look good because you've seen it already through 2.5 weeks that the offensive line has gotten banged up. You've lost your best offensive lineman in Vinny Sciury already this season. You replaced him with Caleb Rogers shifting over to left guard. Your offensive line has looked really solid, in my opinion, right? I think they've done a really solid job. I want to see them continue that and not just have a first half. I want to see a first game, full game of them playing really, really good from start to finish and getting guys in there that may have to have bigger roles moving forward because of injuries. So that's what I want to see in the second half more than anything. Yeah, I want to see more sacks too, but they've gotten pressure on UNT pretty consistently actually in this game. They just throw the ball so quick as UNT that sacks really don't happen too often. But, I mean, the secondary for Texas Tech has been sensational. I thought they played really, really well. And then obviously, like Mitchell just dropped in the chat. Has Micah Hudson played yet? Haven't seen him, but I've been kind of at the absent for this game. Yeah, Micah Hudson has played a few snaps. I would suspect that he gets a couple of catches in this game and builds a little bit more momentum for him going into the conference play for the Red Raiders. I would be surprised if we see Barron in the second half. I'm getting a few texts from people at the game and then a couple of buddies up in the press room, media. saying kind of the same thing to me. I would be pretty surprised if you see him in the second half. You're up 52-7. Get some time out there for Cam Brown to throw the football a couple times, and then maybe even Will Hammond or Jake Strong, right? So that's big as well. What do you think Joey is saying in the locker room? Finish. You ain't done shit yet. You're up 52-7. Cool, you had one good half of football. That's the only good half of football you've had all year. Period. Prove people this wasn't a fluke, right? I don't give a damn if there's one person that isn't starting on this field, right? Like if we're talking about fourth stringers, finish, right? You never know when it's going to be your next time. Finish the damn game. Don't let your foot off the gas and go put a fucking 80 burger on their ass. I don't even know what an 80 would be. 50 burger? What's an 80? Is that like a filet mignon? Like what the fuck is that? Go put an 80 piece on their ass. Go do it, right? Go do it. The job's not finished. Shout out to Kobe, right? Period. End of story. Also just got a text saying, don't be surprised if it's Jake Strong a little bit in the second half too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Not solidified info there, but I did have a couple people text me that. So maybe we see some Strong in the second half here as well. Remember, Darren, I get it. I want to see some Hammond too, but he is scheduled to redshirt. Now, that being said, he does get, I believe it's 3 games where you can play and still redshirt. So maybe you see a little bit of him here in the second half. But the design was always to redshirt Will Hammond. So I think we'll see a lot of Brown and Strong in the second half, maybe some Will Hammond at the very end of the game in the fourth quarter. But I would suspect it's Brown and Strong, as second half kickoff is not too far away. Also had he gets 4 games. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad. I always get confused 3 or 4 games if it's 25% or 33% of the year that you get in terms of games you can play for a red shirt. And then obviously the bowl game doesn't count in that regard. You can play in that. I'm glad they finally changed that rule for sure. So again, announcers show that they are not in the booth. It's just a big ass screen behind them in this one, which is probably really, really difficult. But yeah, (52-7). I would be shocked if you see Baron Morton play. Texas Tech will get the ball to start the second half, so we're going to know pretty much right away who we're going to see here for Texas Tech in terms of under center. Don't think you'll see Taj. And I would be really surprised if you don't see the likes of, Jordan Brown, Dre McCray, Micah Hudson, guys like that. All right, UNT setting up. Dre McCray back to return the kick. 52-7 to start the second half. Your Red Raiders absolutely dominating the Mean Green. This kick will not be returned. Texas Tech will start this drive on their own 25. Before we get it started, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really goes a long way in terms of helping the channel and really just continuing doing these live feeds or live streams. We won't have one next week. I'll be at a friend's wedding, but you bet your ass we will be back the week after when Texas Tech faces off against the Cincinnati Bearcats out there in the 806. 415 total yard first half for the Red Raiders, and Cam Dickey is in the backfield alongside West Georgia's finest transfer, Cam Brown. He will take the first snap of the second half for the Red Raiders. Micah Hudson is on the field alongside Jordan Brown, and wouldn't you know it, the starters are out, and guess what happens? A false start. First false start penalty comes with the non-starters in the game for Texas Tech. There's some irony there. So the Red Raiders will start this drive on their own 20 instead. Micah Hudson On the far side trips with Brady Boyd, Jordan Brown, Cam Dickey. And it is a QB power run, and there is a ton of room, and they get those 5 yards back as they will go down to 2nd and 10. You will see a lot more running in this one with Brown now. I'm interested to see how he looks passing the football, though, more than anything. You really haven't seen it yet. At West Georgia, he didn't do it too much, but he is playing behind the starting offensive line. So, excuse me, it is the starting offensive line still out there with a bunch of second-teamers outside of Mason Tharp at the tight end spot. Cam Dickey moves from left to right in motion. Brown looking that way. That's Micah Hudson. Just kidding. It's Cam Dickey for a 5-yard catch. It will be 3rd and about 4. Maybe 3rd and 5, though. They'll list it at 3rd and 4. Micah Hudson at the bottom of the screen, closest to the Texas Tech sideline, alongside Brady Boyd. At the top of the screen is Jordan Brown, alongside Mason Tharp at the tight end spot. Shotgun, Cam Dickey to the right of Brown. Tharp moves across the face. It is a pass play. It is to Jordan Brown, and it is far and outside there. It will be a punting situation, as I don't think it was necessarily an awful pass by Cam Brown, but it wasn't a good one. Like, I don't think it was good, but it wasn't bad. It looked like Jordan Brown should have caught that football, in my opinion. Let me know in the chat, too. I ask y'all this every week. Always love hearing about it. Who's y'all's favorite NFL team? We might go off the little bit of the rails. We'll still be doing play-by-play here. No doubt about it. It's Texas Tech, just terrible coverage on special teams right there, allowing UNT to get to about their own 37-yard line to start their first drive the second half. Who's your favorite NFL team? My team did something historic last week. If you know me, I am a Titans fan, and they literally allowed the Bears to come back and win a football game without scoring a touchdown because I don't deserve happiness, I guess. We've got the Cowboys, the Chiefs. Burke, I disrespectfully hate you. Just kidding. I don't. I'm just upset. I don't know what the hell Will Levis was doing. I hate that I actually root for a guy that put mayonnaise in his coffee. God, I fucking hate myself sometimes. All right. UNT, trips left, drop back, pressure in Morris's face, throw up, and it is incomplete. Great coverage right there by Mo Horn on the far right sideline. Again, Texas Tech is getting pressure on Morris. It's just Morris is getting the ball out quick. Good for him on that front. 2nd and 10. Stacked both sides of the field for UNT with a running back in the backfield to the right of Morris. 3 down linemen for the Red Raiders. Handoff right up the gut, and it's going to go for a minute. No, Jacob Rodriguez gets off a block. Looked like that run was going to go for at least the first down, but Jacob Rodriguez gets around, gets a good tackle. That's one thing that's really stood out in this game for Texas Tech defensively. Sure tackling. They've looked really, really good in that department. It will be 3rd and about 5 for UNT on their first drive, and this is no doubt 4-down territory for North Texas considering where they are on the field. On their own 41, 3-down linemen for the Red Raiders. 2 wide receivers to the left. One moves in motion to make it trips. Roll out for Morris. He looks deep, has pressure on him. Texas Tech gets a hand. Jacob Rodriguez goes after him, and Morris has to throw it away. It'll be 4th and 5 and decision time for Eric Morris in the Mean Green. Had to drink a little bit of coffee. 4th and 5. I would assume they go for this, right? What do you have to lose at this point? Why are you not going for this? We're about to see some weird-ass shit in the second half, I feel like, in terms of decision-making. We're going to see some weird stuff because this is weird. Why are you not going for it? They are punting. It's a decent one. Josh Kelly catches it at the 10, tries to make a guy miss and does, but instead, well, 2 Mean Green get him down right back at the point of attack. And Texas Tech will start this drive on their own 10. I don't know why Josh Kelly is returning that kick. Also, like, let's get some other guys some action back there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because he fumbled the first time, but I guys like Josh Kelly, Baron Morton, Taj Brooks, like, hey, let's get them off the field. You know what I'm saying? John, they're giving up. I mean, I think that they're just, at this point, they just don't want to get anybody injured more than anything. You've seen it across the college football landscape so far this year where teams are just getting absolutely obliterated, where they accelerate the clock and everything and then do some weird things. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's in the game right now, Josh Kelly, in terms of returning that kick. I would 100% put somebody back there, else back there, I should say. Don't get why McCray isn't returning these now. Yeah, I mean, I know McCray, I forget if is he second string? I know he might be second string on the punt. Obviously, he's the kickoff guy. I forget if he's second string, but no, he's not. He's not even the second string on the punt return. There, Jarrett. That's Jordan Brown, and then third is actually Micah Hudson. So Jordan Brown should be back there. Double T Beerman. Lyle Leong not going to get his wish of UNT not getting blown out. Yep, nope, I'm going to roast Lyle this week, so tune in for that. I'm going to roast his ass. I was talking to him off camera where I was like, Brody, I hope I get to roast you. I get to roast you for – and again, he's friends with Eric, Eric Morris, and Eric Morris is a Red Raider legend, but it's one of those deals where it's like, yeah, I like Emo too, but I like him a little less this week. In terms of, I hope Texas Tech sincerely kicks their ass. Shout out to Bob Knight talking about UT on College Game Day back in 2008. So I'm always hoping Texas Tech puts up this kind of performance. I don't know how many more this year you're going to see, so you enjoy it while it lasts for sure, because Texas Tech has been very, very good. Yeah, Mike, I agree. This is Morris playing like it's 0-0. I get they want to play fundamental football for sure. But even then, like, there's going to be times this year you think about it for UNT where you're at your own 40. It's late clock situation in terms of maybe 2 minutes or less, and it's 4th and 5. Why not try and practice that there in live game action, Just a different philosophy, and that's okay. Micah back on the field. Jordan Brown moves in motion. Brown loses the ball and, gets it out to Jordan Brown. He's going to have to make a guy miss. Doesn't. Texas Tech very lucky to get that ball back to the line of scrimmage there. Defense today for Texas Tech has held UNT to 0 for 7 on third downs, 3 INTs, including the Braylon Lux pick 6, and has held UNT to 40 rushing yards. This has been a sensational day for the Texas Tech defense. Now you got trips left for the Red Raiders. Micah Hudson at the top of the screen, off the field. Jordan Brown, 2 tight ends, hand off to Cam Dickey. Cam Dickey makes a guy miss and then some. No, it's Jacoby Williams. Excuse me. Turns on the afterburners. One of the best two-way players in the state of Texas history right there, Jacoby Williams, a guy that him and Cam Dickey could form a thunder and lightning duo in the backfield for Red Raiders to enjoy for years to come. Love that play call right there. Cam Dickey in the backfield once again. You've got Micah Hudson at the bottom of the screen near the Texas Tech sideline. Stacked at the top, Jordan Brown and Brady Boyd alongside Kelby Valson in the game, it looks like. Micah Hudson right there. So you're getting to see a lot of these guys that are younger. Brown set to snap. Fake handoff. Throws it quickly. Brady Boyd. Nice little first down gain right there. Makes it 2nd and short for the Red Raiders. Almost up to their own 30. 52-7. Just over 11 minutes left in the third quarter. I just want to see the second unit look good, right? I'm not expecting them to put up 52, right? I'm not. I just want to see them build positive vibes. I know that sounds weird, but just gain confidence, right? Going in. You never know when your moment will be up to playing a game. Get some good tape out there so you can feel good about yourself. Micah Hudson catches the football out on the left side. 3 UNT defenders there to swarm them, and it will be 3rd and 4. Corey, final score guess? I'm probably going to guess like 70. Throw a field goal in there. 71-21. Micah Hudson at the bottom of the screen still. Brady Boyd, Jordan Brown, the other wide receivers with Jacoby Williams on there. Brown drops back, looking at Micah Hudson, and he picks it. I mean, Brown just, I mean, if I told you that there was if I didn't tell you there was another wide receiver on the field right there, you would have thought Micah Hudson was the only guy with how just plain and simple Brown stared him down from the jump. Easiest pick that number 4 for UNT will get in maybe his college career. I mean, just simple and plain. Right to him. So Micah was at the bottom of the screen there to the right of Brown, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that was a really weird thing. I hope y'all have the game on y'all's screen, like your TV, and then you're watching on your phone or iPad or whatever, listening here, hanging out. Number 4 for UNT just did the Stone Cold Steve Austin beer thing, where he puts 2 together, but he did it with water. Does bro not know he's down 45? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, he's down 45. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm all for celebrating. You got to find some positives in a situation like this. But to do that is, I'll just say interesting. Let's just say that. It's just super weird. But UNT 2nd and 8. They drop back, roll out to the left. Chandler Morris goes to the end zone and just absolutely misses a wide open wide receiver. Overthrew him by a good 5 yards. No shot right there. Jalen Peoples on the coverage. And to be fair to Peoples there, I shouldn't say wide open receiver. He was using the back of the end zone as a defender there. Smart defense, just an abysmal throw by Morris. Stacked on both sides for UNT, Texas Tech in a cover 2 formation with 3 down linemen. Looks like it's cover 2 man. They run it right up the middle, and Amir Washington is there right away to cause a 4th down for UNT. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Almost 100 people in here. We do not have 100 likes. Let's get as many as we possibly can right here. They're going for it, and that looked like a false start. 4th and 8. They throw it across the middle, and it is a touchdown for UNT. Looked like Texas Tech did not think they were going to go for it there, and they were out of position. Jeremiah Aaron catches the touchdown from Chandler Morris, and North Texas gets 7 more points on the board. Appreciate everybody that has liked and subscribed to the channel. Brian, I 100% agree. Peoples has been what I would call a liability. Simple and plain on that front. No footage. Can't legally show the game on here. Can't do that. We'll have a live interactive scoreboard, keep you guys up to date on everything, and do play-by-play. That's just how it is. I'm not going to lose my YouTube channel to show the game. Not going to do it. So we'll do play-by-play, though. Have a good time chatting it up. Nice, Christopher. Yeah, I miss the 806, man. I really do. Yeah, Corey, I thought there was a false start. I thought the receivers were moving a little bit, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if it would have mattered. Peoples got kind of cooked in the secondary there. He's guarding more of the sideline when probably should have been in a good 5 or 6 yards, to his left. Chris Paul hits a 3 to cut it down to 40. Shout out to the Mavs reference. I know that's not the Mavs reference. Well, actually, it is the Mavs reference, so shout out to that. Make a burner account. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. It takes a little while to get to 10,000 subs on YouTube. It takes a little bit. I'm very appreciative for it, but it takes a minute to get there. It's the biggest Texas Tech YouTube channel right here that isn't affiliated with the university, so I'm very thankful for it. But yeah. Again, Not a great drive there defensively for Texas Tech, but not awful either. You got backups in there. You're trying to get guys experience. I didn't think the secondary looked too good there, but you got pressure on the quarterback a couple of times, and that's big. That's something that you want to see from, I don't care if it's the first stringer or literally like, I don't know, eighth. I don't care. You want to get that confidence boost because you've already seen Texas Tech is without four guys that would be in the outside linebacker rotation, i.e. the edge rotation. They're without them today. And you got guys like Quincy Ledet look good today. Duda Banks look good in that interior, right? A little bit better for sure. But I think that the edge has really looked good today outside of really one play by Isaac Smith on that horse collar. I think that they've done a pretty good job of at least influencing some of these bad decisions by Chandler Morris. Not getting home in terms of, hey, like the actual sack category, but they've definitely impacted it. There's no doubt about it. Maybe that's why he did the Stone Cold thing. I did not realize Stone Cold went to UNT and was a defensive end there. Anybody else know that? Okay, it's a tradition. I take everything back from Nelson. My bad, dude. I feel like kind of a dick now. I didn't realize they did that for everything. It doesn't matter if you're down 45. That's kind of cool. Okay, paying homage to the past. I'm here for it. Can't hate on that. You think Texas Tech will have more points in the second half after that TD? Yeah, no, I think Texas Tech will be fine in the second half. You're not going to have them score 52, but I bet you they score like 3 touchdowns or something like that, 20 points or whatever. Also, apparently Memphis is going crazy right now, beating Florida State in Tallahassee. Micah back on the field alongside Brady Boyd and Kobe Velson. Cam Brown back at quarterback with Cam Dickey right next to him. QB power to the left side. He makes a couple guys miss and then some. Man, he is a big-ass dude. Holy shit. Cam Brown is a big man. That quarterback, I mean, he's a big dude. I don't know if he can throw the football yet, but damn. Dude is a tank. 6'2", 240. No, thank you. I'm not trying to tackle that. Micah Hudson isolated at the bottom of the screen as they move Brady Boyd in motion. Hand off to Cam Dickey. Makes the guy miss. He might be off to the races, folks. Oh, no, great tackle. Great tackle right there by number 21 on UNT. If he got past that, I think Cam Dickey had a chance to throw up the deuces like Tyreek. RC, what time do you start drinking beer after this game? Who says I haven't started yet? There's no law that I can't drink on this channel. Yeah, I already had one in the first half. I'm just getting coffee right now because I'm a little tired. Trips left for the Red Raiders. Micah Hudson on the far outside. Brown waits, throws across the middle, and just listen. I'll be honest. I'm being critical here. Every throw Cam Brown has had so far, he has stared it down like you did your high school crush in English class. Like he has eyes for nobody else except his first read. It is literally like me staring at my high school crush while the teacher is talking, and I'm just like, man, isn't she beautiful? You know what I'm saying? This is a handoff to Cam Dickey, makes a guy miss, gets forward. It's going to be about 3rd and 5 at the 45. 2 beers down, RC. Yeah. Hey, Debbie, keep going. Drink responsibly, of course. But, hey, let's have some fun. I think scotch, or somebody said they were drinking scotch. I think it was Adam. Adam said he was starting to drink scotch at 1:30. Why wait? Drink responsibly, of course. Have some fun. Texas Tech is beating that ass today. 52-14, 3rd and 5 at their own 45. Brown throws it to the outside and nearly kills Brady Boyd. Again, I'm almost to the point now where I've kind of seen enough. I know it's only been a couple of drives, but yeah, Brody, we need. Let's see Will Hammond. Let's see Jake Strong, one of those two guys in terms of the passing aspect of it. Texas Tech will punt here as Burgess is back. the Weber State transfer. About 7:20 remaining left in the third quarter, 4th and 5. Texas Tech going. Getting ready to punt. Debbie asked, do you live in Dallas, or Burbs? No, we live in downtown, my wife and I do. We live pretty close to the American Airlines Center. Sippy, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Did y'all see the play? Brady Boyd almost died. I mean, he stared him down like your high school crush. I'm telling you. Like, bro. Again, I'm being critical here in the second half, I know, but golly. Just like, look somewhere else, my guy. Like at least make the secondary think you might go somewhere else. Don't get your guy killed. But yeah. John says, I am drinking Keystones and cooking out. Oh, golf, seafood, and hot links. Okay. What's the seafood of choice? I'll be honest with you. I like seafood. I'm a seafood guy, but I think it's at a very basic elementary level. Like, I like salmon. I like tuna in some ways. What else do I like? Shrimp. But I'm not trying anything crazy, I don't think. I probably need to get on that, though. I do like seafood, though. Salmon is probably my favorite food, which probably makes me sound bougie as shit, but I do love me some salmon. Salmon's great. A little surf and turf action. Who doesn't love that? All right, let's read some stats to you guys while I scallops are good. Scallops are good for sure. Good call there. Good call. Yeah, fried shrimp. Fried shrimp is great. I'm a big gumbo guy. So whatever the hell they put in that, I don't know. You could tell me they put a bunch of shit in there that I've never heard of. I'm still eating it. Gumbos are delicious. It's so good. But enough about me and my food takes. Let's look at some stats for Texas Tech real quick. Get them up on your screen. There you go. All right, 52-14, as we mentioned. You can see it on your screen right there. Baron Morton is done for the day. He ends his day with as many touchdown passes as he had incompletions. He went 15 for 19, 273, and 4. They finally gave him that 4th touchdown as they had it for Jalen Conyers earlier, which was weird. They spread the ball out and then some today. The leading wide receiver in terms of yards in this one is John Carlos Miller II. He had that 45-yard touchdown. And then you have Jordan Brown leading the way. Well, tied with Jalen Conyers in terms of receptions with 3 so far on that. Taj Brooks leads the way rushing the football for the Red Raiders, and you will not see him for the rest of the day. Neither will you see Baron Morton, and I bet you don't see Josh Kelly as well on the offensive side for the Red Raiders. But Taj Brooks has 17 carries, 109 yards, a touchdown, and average 6.4 yards per carry. Cam Dickey, a very, very nice day so far. Six carries, 36 yards with a long of 10, averaging 6 yards per rush. All right, let's get back on here. Morris drops back. There's pressure in his face, and, well, his running back is very lucky that Malik Dingle didn't catch that football right there. That should have been another pick. Listen, I kind of feel bad for Chandler Morris because 2 of his picks were blatantly not his fault. The one where he threw to Braylon Lux for the pick 6, that was a bad read. But the other 2 have literally hit his wide receivers either in the hands and the face. But here we go. 2nd and 10, 7 minutes left. They move a guy in motion. It is a fake handoff. They run a bubble screen, and this could go a little bit. Texas Tech not ready for this one as UNT picks up about 15, 16 yards and goes into turbo mode due to the Mean Green. Let's see. Shrimp for sure. Calamari's good. Yeah, especially fried calamari. I'm all about that for sure. That's one thing I can't get into is crab. What a great tackle by John Curry right there. Great stuff. Great catch first and foremost by the UNT running back. Caught it one-handed, but John Curry was the only line of defense right there. Another sure tackle for the Red Raider defense, and it will be 2nd and 10. They also got pressure again. The Texas, again, they're not getting sacks, are the Red Raider defense, but they're making life miserable for Chandler Morris, even in a quick game scenario. Got Duda and Quincy Ledet out there in terms of the interior down linemen for the Red Raiders. They move another guy in motion, does the Mean Green, is a handoff right up the middle, but a quick no-go right there as Chapman Lewis heads down from the secondary for a sure tackle for Texas Tech. Debbie, I I am a product of the mid-2000s in terms of that's when I started listening to music. So as Chandler Morris goes deep across the middle, wide open drop. Whoo-wee! Texas Tech got lucky right there. That was probably the second throw of the day where Chandler Morris just flat out missed a guy. I mean, this guy was wide open, and it was Jalen Peoples getting caught again right there alongside. I don't know who that was. Maybe Brendan Jordan. Miscommunication in the secondary again on the second unit for Texas Tech. But very lucky right there was the Red Raiders. It's now 4th and 7. They're going for this one, but they didn't go for the other one. Make it make sense. 4th and 7 from their own 39. They're 2 for 2 today. Are the Mean Green on 4th down. 3 down linemen for Texas Tech. They get to the face of Morris. He tries to run for it. He ain't going to get there. And the Red Raiders will start with the football in UNT territory as Morris slides down, but has a Texas Tech defender land on him. I want to preface this. It was not a late hit. It was a weird slide. Texas Tech defender was already kind of diving for him, had his hands up so he couldn't hurt him, but his body weight landed on Morris really in his shoulder, upper body. They tried to not hit him, but it was just a weird, awkward spot, but the Red Raiders will get the football back. 52-14, 5:33 remaining. Let's get those Ds in the chat. Come on. Good shit, defense. All right. Answering your question, though, Debbie, on the music thing, I'm weird. So, like, I'll listen to anything. So my mom grew me up on 90s country, so I still listen to that a bunch. I'm basic as hell in terms of just listening to pop music and everything like that. Love me some hip-hop. Love me some pop. Love me some country, R&B. Really, it's just if I think it's good, I'll listen to it. Listen to Green Day, Creed, all that kind of stuff. So just a bunch of different stuff. Yeah, listen to George Strait. That's what my mom played in the house all the time. So I listened to that. Reba McEntire, that was her favorite artist when I was growing up. So know all that kind of stuff. And then the song that how about heavy metal? Yeah, my dad kind of played that a little bit in the house, but I don't know what the definition of heavy metal is. I listen to rock and stuff like that. Now, I'll be honest with you, John. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea. No idea what that is. Not even gonna try. Pantera? I don't know. No idea whatsoever. Texas Tech up 52-14, though. The one that I've been listening to most recently, though, for those that care, is Post Malone. He's probably my favorite artist. Like how versatile he is in terms of if I'm listening to pop music, he makes pop music. If I want to listen to hip-hop, he's got hip-hop. And then now he's obviously a big country singer too. So listen to that. Yeah, I've never heard of him, to be honest. So that probably tells you my level of knowing heavy metal, to be honest. I know old like rock stuff like AC/DC and stuff, but I'm not going to tell you I'm a like know-it-all in that. I only know like probably the big songs. Are they really? Is that who they play? Equals Dallas Stars. Huh. I do know Metallica. Yeah, I know Metallica. I didn't realize that. How are they affiliated with the Dallas Stars, though? Do they, like, make their music? Is that the Dallas Stars? Is that their music? Oh, really? Did not know that. Hey, y'all teach me things, too. Love it. Jake Strong in there for the Red Raiders. Moves out. He's going to run this one and get out of bounds at the UNT about 36-yard line. So, excuse me. We have a Will Hammond sighting. We have a Will Hammond sighting in the 806. We have a Will Hammond sighting. Oh, yeah. I listen to Taylor Swift, too. I'll listen to really anything if you throw it on. Will Hammond across the middle to Micah Hudson, and he is gone. No, he gets tripped up. Oh, no. The Will Hammond to Micah Hudson connection instantly on his first pass as a Red Raider, and Micah was just short of a TD. That was a great throw, Mike, in my opinion. waited a second because you can make that throw right away, but it puts Micah in a bad situation. It allowed Micah to win an extra step right there and almost take it to the crib. That was a great throw, and I would not be surprised if you see Jacoby Williams right here. Get this. Will Hammond, fake cut. Micah Hudson's open. He throws it to him, and he's out of the end zone. Good decision there, actually. I think Micah took a bad route there. He took a bad route there, but that was a great route by Micah and an even better throw by Will Hammond in terms of the timing on a slant route. That's something that I don't think people realize enough, how hard a slant route is in terms of timing. A 32-yard connection between the two stars of the 2024 recruiting class for the Red Raiders. Got two tight ends right next to the quarterback. Jacoby Williams in as the running back. Conyers and Miller with Brown at the top. Looked like a false start right there, but Jacoby Williams gets up the middle. Can he shove them in? They do. The true freshman, one of the best two-way players in Texas high school football history, gets his first TD as a Red Raiders. Let's get those TDs in the chat. Let's get the TDs in the chat. It's fun seeing these young guys get a little bit of a moment, right? It's fun seeing the potential future for Texas Tech. We love it. We love to see it. Hey, and Darren, it might be more than the triplets. You got to throw Cam Dickey in there too. You got to throw Cam Dickey in there. Don't forget about him now. That Thunder and Lightning duo in the backfield, but then you got Micah and Will Hammond. Hey, don't forget about Cam Dickey now, but you're right. Those guys are really, really fun. There's no doubt about that. That's a big-time drive for Texas Tech. Just from, again, confidence perspective, these young guys need to see that they can actually play at this level, get adjusted to live in-game action at the Jones. It's big. It's big for sure. Corey, you're a solid announcer, bro. I don't have the game on, so this is awesome. I appreciate that. Definitely a passion of mine. No, I'm not the best, but it's fun getting to chat with you guys and talk ball. Love talking ball. Yeah, next week is a big game. Big 12 starts, but again, you know what's crazy? And again, I talked about this on a radio spot that I did this week. One of my buddies asked me to come on his show and talk about it. I said, if Texas Tech wins this game, right, and they're 2-1, right, this is kind of where we thought they would be, though, right? It just hadn't looked like what we wanted it to look like, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, you thought, and I thought, they'd blow ACU out. We thought that it would be a closer game against Washington State. That wasn't the case. But if I were to tell you, hey, Texas Tech is 2-1 in non-con, you would think, oh, okay, yeah, they lost to Washington State, but the game was close. That's not what actually happened. But it's one of those deals now where it's like, okay, you're 2-1, and you have a real chance because you have your first two games at home in conference play to be 4-1 going on the road to Arizona. Right? So, like, worst case scenario, you were 4-1, I think everybody thought. Best case scenario, you were 5-0. I think you still have that within the range of possibilities. And this game is going to help from a confidence perspective. North Texas comes out. Morris is still out there. They dump it off to the running back. Sure tackle. Nope, just a trip up right there. Looked like he lost his footing. Did number 26 for UNT, as it is now 59-14, Texas Tech. Adrian says, BRB getting my refill on the Kool-Aid. What kind of Kool-Aid are we talking about here? No, Debbie, I agree with you, though. Arizona State is no joke. Leavitt has played really, really well for them. But this is going to be their biggest test on the road so far. Texas State was a test. There's a difference, though. There's levels to this. In terms of environment and meaning and just skill level in terms of top to bottom of a roster. As Curry gets after Morris, but Morris makes a guy miss and smartly runs out of bounds for about a 3 or 4 yard gain to make it 3rd and 7. Yeah, that goes back to the contain aspect of that. I thought that was probably one of the worst contains that they've had today. Not saying it was awful, but it wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination. As the clock continues to roll in this one, 3 minutes left, Texas Tech 3 minutes left in the third quarter, I should say. Still got another whole quarter to play. But it's 59-14, Texas Tech. The Red Raiders have created 18 hurries against Chandler Morris today and 7 pressures, no sacks, but they're getting there and influencing his decisions for sure. It's 3rd and 6. They get to him again across the middle, and that should have been picked. But really smart play there by the Texas Tech defender in the sense of if he goes for the ball and kind of leans in a little bit and even grazes the UNT wide receiver, that's probably targeting. So he held up smartly, and it will be 4th down for UNT as Texas Tech once again creates pressure and makes things uncomfortable for Chandler Morris, and UNT will punt on 4th and 6. .237 remaining at the time of the punt. Dre McCray back. Little line drive. It's going to take a bounce. Tech should probably stay out of the way of this one, and they do as it settles to a stop at the Texas Tech 32, and that is where Will Hammond and the Red Raiders will start their drive. What's the best part of Lubbock to move to? I mean, I feel like there's a couple good places. I mean, Tech Terrace is always a good spot, if you want to be close to the university, but it's got a lot of college kids in it. I think a lot of families live closer to 82nd. And I don't even know what street that is. I'm trying to thinking of the grid in my head right now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when I went out to Lubbock in 2014, really past Raymar out on 98th Street didn't exist, and now they're over 200 streets out there. It's kind of crazy how quick they're building stuff. But Will Hammond back out there. Micah Hudson as well. You've got Colby Velson and then Jordan Brown at the top of the screen. Cam Dickey, the running back. And that's a false start for Texas Tech. It'll be on Dalton Merriman, the left tackle. Yeah, South Lubbock, Cooper area is good. What street am I thinking of? 82nd? Is that Milwaukee? That's a good area to be in over there. Run up the middle by Cam Dickey goes nowhere. It'll be 2nd and 15 again. I haven't seen the new highway that they're building out there. I'll be out there in November, so I'll get to see it then, I guess. Is it just another loop? It's just a bigger loop? Wow. Huh. Interesting. Lubbock is growing really, really fast. I mean, I think people forget how big Lubbock is. Will Hammond drops back, rolls up in the pocket, makes a guy miss, dumps off to Cam Dickey. Smart move by the freshman. And oh, wow. Cam Dickey put a guy on skates. But good tackle by him. Hey, that makes sense, actually. That's probably a good idea to connect those two highways for sure out there. It'll be 3rd and long. Jacoby Williams will come in the game alongside Brady Boyd. Michael Hudson is on the field, and you've got a couple of young guys on there as well, including Tyrone West, and then you've also got Kelby Volson in at wide receiver for the Red Raiders. Will Hammond, the young guys are on the field outside of Brady. Will Hammond gets the ball, snaps it, looks to his left, looks right, throws across the middle, caught by Micah Hudson. 1st down, Red Raiders. That was a hell of a play by Will Hammond there. He went through 3 reads. You could tell Micah Hudson was not his primary read. It was at the top of the screen. Both were covered. He steps up in the pocket with pressure coming in his face and throws a dart to Micah Hudson for a 1st down. This one goes to Jacoby Williams, who makes one guy miss, another guy miss, and then he's brought down at the Texas Tech 42. And the Red Raiders, the youngsters, are showing off right now out in the 806. They're slowing down as Texas Tech. Micah Hudson, Volson, West, Boyd with Williams back there. Will Hammond as the quarterback. The starting offensive line still out there, which I like because they need as many in-game reps as possible. And Texas Tech will take this one down to the fourth quarter. Get those fours in the chat right now. Texas Tech up 59-14, headed into the fourth quarter. Did any of y'all see those Yetis that they're selling at the football game today? I'll show them to you guys here in a second. The picture may be blurry, but my buddy is clutch and got me one. Big ups to him. Had a buddy grab one for me. Let me show you these Yetis that they're selling at the game today. I don't know if y'all saw them, but they are just absolutely spicy. We'll be using it next time we have a broadcast on here for sure. I apologize if it isn't the most clean in the world, but look at this thing. Y'all see that? That's spicy right there. That's spicy. Yeah, we love to see that. All right. Let's get back to the chat here. Sorry about that, fellas and ladies. Young guys playing okay. Absolutely they are. Wait, so is Wes Welker's name on the stadium now, or is he just in the Ring of Honor? It's on the stadium. Yeah, they put all three on the stadium today. Hammond may Wally Pitt Morton. I don't think right now. Mike, apparently for those that are going to games this year, I would keep track of the Texas Tech Red Raiders Twitter, because every Monday, I say every, they've only had 2 home games, right? But they're posting, they have a deal with Yeti this year that they're going to have exclusive Yetis for each game. And so if you go to the game, you're going to want to try and find them if you're interested in them, but they only sell them apparently at the games is what I've understood. All right, Hammond back in the game. Hand off to Cam Dickey. Lead blockers, Jalen Conyers, and there goes Cam Dickey and then some. He's off to the races. 33 all the way down to the UNT 20. The young boys are showing off. They are showing off today. Mike, I've been saying that since they got him, since they landed him. He is literally the same. He's literally Taj Brooks 2.0 is Cam Dickey. And the best part about it, you have a lightning component with Jacoby Williams. Absolutely love what they've done in terms of the youth movement behind Taj Brooks, allowing them to have a year, still get snaps, so they're just not thrust into this big-ass role next year when Taj Brooks is gone. Big-time stuff. This may be a Micah Hudson play right here. He's one-on-one, man coverage on the far outside. They fake it, throw across the middle. Mason Tharp's not ready. That's on Mason Tharp. That was a great play call by Kitley, a great throw by Will Hammond. Literally hit Mason Tharp in the chest, and he was not looking. That's on Mason Tharp right there. You gotta pay attention. Will Hammond has looked composed. He looks like a gamer right now. Micah to the top of the screen. Mason Tharp moves a little from left to right. Fake handoff. Now he does give the handoff to Cam Dickey, waiting patiently. Nothing there. Really good job by UNT to solidify the edge and limit what Texas Tech could do there. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Red Raiders right outside of the UNT red zone. I don't want to hype Hammond up too much, but there's been a couple of throws where you're just like, okay, that's a good one. That stands out. Is Conyers definitively tight end 1 now? No, I think it's still that trio. You're going to see those guys play a lot regardless. 3rd and 9, just outside the red zone on the UNT 21. Cam Dickey steps up, gets set. They're sitting in the house at Will Hammond. Good. And it's a hole. What a dart. Right down to Jalen Conyers at the UNT 1. That throw was absolutely sexy by Will Hammond. An unequivocal dart between 2 UNT defenders. That window was the size of a peephole, and he fit a football through it. That was a sensational throw. Listen, I know it's 59-14. I don't know if UNT is playing their backups or what, but Will Hammond really stood out, and Cam Dickey into the end zone. Get those TDs in the chat. Let's go. I mean, I'm telling you, that throw from Will Hammond to Jalen Conyers was just, you know what I'm saying? My goodness. My goodness, what a throw. All right, let's go look at the comments real quick. Got a bunch of TDs in here. RC, dude, shit, man, he is pretty damn good. He's looking good. There's no doubt about it. It's insane arm talent. And remember, RC, we don't owe Morton nothing. And he was really never done much for us. No, listen, whoever the best quarterback is, play the damn quarterback, right? But I don't think this is the game where you can question it. I mean, Barron looked pretty damn good today, right? Like, threw for 4 tutties and nearly 300 yards. He had as many touchdown passes as he did incompletions. Like, this isn't the game. We can praise Will Hammond and still say Barron Morton looked good, right? I think that that's fair. But there's no denying that Will Hammond should unequivocally be the starting quarterback as soon as Barron Morton is no longer on the Texas Tech roster, or even could supplant him at one point moving forward. But right now, I mean, Barron is your guy for sure. But Will Hammond, he's made some spicy-ass throws. No, I think Will Hammond should be QB2. I think Cam Brown is more that guy that you bring in that early Donovan Smith type role, remember, where they didn't really ask him to pass, but he came into the game and just ran people over, right? Like, I think that that's kind of where it is in terms of short yardage, goal line type stuff. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button. Your Red Raiders are beating the absolute shit out of UNT, and I mean every fucking syllable. They're beating the shit out of them. My God. And if you're excited about that, Texas Tech garnering a little bit of momentum going into Big 12 play, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and damn it, I'm excited, people. This is exactly what you needed. Will North Texas score on this drive? Maybe. Who knows? The way the defense is playing, maybe not. Yeah, Jake Strong played last year, and he was put into some shitty situations. Remember that Kansas State game, and then he had to go to BYU and play as a true freshman, and he clearly wasn't ready. Will Hammond, much easier landing as a true freshman in terms of his first true experience in college football. Coming into this second half, you're up by 50, right? Like, show off your talent, let it rip, make the right reads, feel good about yourself, and he's done that. And then some. He has looked absolutely sensational on some of these throws, and the Red Raiders have covered the over basically by themselves in this game. It is 66-14. There's been 80 points scored. If I would have told you there was 80 points scored in this game, you probably would have thought, Texas Tech scored maybe like 45. Wrong, 66. They are absolutely beating the brakes off of UNT in every facet of the game. Hard not to get excited, though, about Will Hammond. I'm right there with you guys. I mean, Will Hammond, that throw was, just spicy. Absolutely spicy. Yeah, my prediction was way off too, Mike. I had them winning 44-30. They scored 44 points with like 9 minutes left in the second quarter. UNT with stacks on both sides of the field. They run it up the middle. Texas Tech's defensive line gets some penetration and stops it for a 2-yard gain for the Mean Green. They have finally taken Chandler Morris out. They have true freshman Drew Mestamaker, 6'4", 210 from Austin, Texas. They're backup in the game now. Just an all-around dominating performance, right? This is the kind of game you needed going into Big 12 play, right? It doesn't mean you can take your foot off the gas, but it's more so a thing where you've proved, hey, we are this good of a football team. Like, we can do this. This is what we should be doing, right? Texas Tech is a good football team. Were they overhyped a little bit? Probably. But at the same time, they are a talented football team. They just needed to see on-field results themselves and have a little bit of momentum going into Big 12 play, where you're facing off against a 3-0 Arizona State team coming in, and you get 2 games against proverbial bottom feeders, at least projected bottom feeders in the Big 12. Doesn't mean you can let your foot off the gas, though. Like I said, you still got to win those football games. It's going to be a tough test. But you're in a really solid spot right now if you're Texas Tech and you're feeling good about yourself going into Big 12 play. And that was critical as they get pressure on the quarterback, and they, oh my goodness, great play by him to get away from that sack right there. Amir Washington had the pressure right in front of Mester's face. And then they had, I believe that's Duda. No, that's McAlpine. Missed the tackle right there after he was getting pushed to the ground, but Bryce Ramirez comes in. But unfortunately, they get the first down on that one. On their own 38, 1st and 10 for the Mean Green. They hand it off again up the middle. Psych, they got me. And it's dropped. I ain't gonna lie. He got me on that play action right there. He definitely got me. He, like when the cameraman follows the running back. I was only looking at the running back. I didn't even look at the quarterback for the second after. But they got me. That was a good one. All right. Mestamaker. They're going doubles on each side is UNT with the running back to the right. 3 down linemen for the Red Raiders, as they've had for much of the day. Playing off coverage on the Red Raiders, and it is a wide receiver screen. They should have leverage, and they kind of did, but not before UNT gets about a 6-yard gain or so. Got a lot more young guys in the secondary for Texas Tech right now. This is a perfect time to see all these guys. Joseph, missing you on the airwaves in the 806 RC. Shout out from your dude, Sooner in Lubbock. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in, Joseph. Yeah, definitely missed the radio show out there. know there's been a lot of movement, but I will say I don't know him too well, but I enjoy the content. I'm happy to hear that Rob is out on the airways again. Really, really good dude, and UNT just took that one to his house. Well, all right, you didn't give up on the play, but that might have been the second play all day for Texas Tech where they just flat out look shitty trying to tackle. Just being honest. It was 20. Just terrible route. 21 missed the tackle. Thought 13 was gone. Good for 22 to come in and actually make the tackle there for Texas Tech. Sanford just took an abysmal route, and that's a false start for UNT, I do believe. Or they might call too many men on the field for Texas Tech here. Yeah, that was really like the third play all day that they took in a shitty angle. And to be honest, that's going to happen. It's college football. It's going to happen. Yeah, too many men on the field. Okay, I guess they got him with the offsides call. They still had too many men on the field, but whatever. From the Texas Tech 3, they move a man from left to right, and they go up the middle, and another miss. Just a missed sack right there. Again, Texas Tech was there. That should have been a sack, and they just did not tackle. They're showing the youth is showing here on this drive for sure. Texas Tech has not looked good in terms of tackling. Got third and fourth stringers in there now, and they just missed another tackle again. UNT is into the end zone, 66-20 now. Just a really, really bad defensive drive there for Texas Tech. Truthfully, probably the worst one of the day, if we're being honest about it. Bad angles. Didn't really wrap up too much in terms of tackling. So, I mean, you're lucky, not lucky. You've earned the right to be up 66, about to be 21. But that's a lot of youth for sure, playing in their first meaningful football game for Texas Tech. So can understand it a little bit. Doesn't make it okay. Got to learn from it, obviously, but understandable to a degree, especially in the secondary. Just growing pains. I agree with you. Yeah. Lack of experience for sure, growing pains. It was bound to happen. You got third, fourth, at some positions, even fifth stringers in there. But you want to get these guys experience. You're right, Mike, for sure. Definitely want to get these guys as much experience as possible. And you'd rather them make mistakes in this type of situation than when you actually need them, right? So that's big as well. Also, I don't know if he's listening, but shout out to my buddy Alex. He is from England, but he just learned today that he got his 10-year green card approved after waiting for 5 years. He is on his next step to getting U.S. citizenship. So shout out to Alex, man. That is 100% huge on his part. Congratulations to him. Really, really good dude, and he's taking the proper steps to be here. So really, really proud of him on that front. So that is freaking awesome, man. Wanted to give him a shout out here on the stream. All right. Let's see here. A lot of people on the Twitter are getting a little excited about Will Hammond. I'm right there with you guys. Okay. I'm right there with you. Let's look over some stats real quick while we're in a quick commercial break. We'll switch on over to this tab so you guys can see them. 66-21 with 9:19 remaining for the Red Raiders against UNT. Baron Morton, again, 4 touchdowns, only 4 incompletions. Big-time stuff. Will Hammond has had some wow-type throws. He's 4 for 6, 66 yards. Cam Brown came in for a little bit, had 2 really bad throws. One of them was picked off, but you could see the physical traits from a running perspective. The leading wide receiver for the Red Raiders in this one is still John Carlos Miller II, but the ball has been spread out. You have 11 wide receivers with a catch in this one, as Texas Tech has thrown for 350 yards. They've also ran for 240. Texas Tech is nearly passing the 600-yard mark, and I would suspect they do that on this drive. Baron Morton looks sensational. Will Hammond looks sensational, and they are spreading the football around. As we've talked about quite a bit on this stream, this is exactly what you needed to see if you were a Texas Tech fan going into Big 12 play. Big-time stuff. Yes, Corey, North Texas scored probably the worst defensive drive of the game for Texas Tech. Definitely play Micah. Definitely play Micah right here. Got to get those experience snaps for sure. It's a good call. He did have another touchdown. You were 100% right. 5 total touchdowns for Baron Morton. Excuse me. Good call out there, Mike, for sure. 66-21, 9:19 remaining. Out in Lubbock, the Red Raiders are headed to their second win of the season in their last non-con game before kicking off the Big 12 slate next week at home against Arizona State at 2:30. That one kicked out of the end zone. The Red Raiders will start this drive on their own 25. Again, very appreciative of y'all spending some of y'all Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon with me here, well, on the largest Texas Tech YouTube channel that's not owned by the university. How about that? Over 10,500 subscribers. We're giving you daily 100% free content. And the best part about it, it's 100% authentic as well. So if you want to join the Back to Swell squad, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and hey, jump in the chat. Go watch some other videos. We're giving you free content. There's nothing better than that. Will Hammond back out there. He hands it off to Jacoby Williams, who gets a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Red Raiders. Rife, what are the chances Will Hammond transfers out at some point in the next few years? I don't think very highly of that, like in terms of the odds. I think he's your clear-cut quarterback of the future. He knows that. Coaching staff knows that. It's a building year for him. Fake handoff, Will Hammond, and then he runs up the middle. Got kind of stuck there. You could tell his primary read off of that RPO wasn't available, made the smart decision. Instead of forcing a football into a very tight window, he runs it up the middle, gets about a 3-yard gain, doesn't make a mistake, lives to see another day. Good type stuff right there. 3rd and 6 for Texas Tech. About 8 minutes remaining. I'm going to ask you guys this later on here in a second. With 6 minutes left, I'm going to want to hear from you guys, but if y'all want to get it in the chat now, by all means, let me know if your star of the game for Texas Tech as Will Hammond rolls out, makes the right decision short of the sticks. And that is actually Drew Hocutt right there, I believe. No, excuse me. That is Tyson Turner. Okay. Excuse me. As Texas Tech will punt, it is 4th and 3 with Nelson of UNT down right next to the Texas Tech sideline. But again, let me know in the chat. It's a perfect time. Who's your star of the game? What stood out to you most for Texas Tech in this victory over UNT, which, as it stands right now, is 66-21. Who gets the game ball, right? Who's the star of the game on each side, right? Let me know in the chat. I think you could go a lot of ways for the Red Raiders in this one, as they have truly dominated in all 3 facets of the game. By far, the best game of the year play called by Zach Kitley. You could tell that, he kind of heard what people were saying about the screens. By my count, call me out on this, I remember at least 2 screens for Texas Tech. I think there was 3, but I don't know if it would be categorized as a screen. But they got away from the screens. They used the middle of the field more. They really went RPO, play action heavy, and it resulted in the Red Raiders coming out and absolutely hammering North Texas early on. I mean, this game was truly over in the second quarter. It was truly over in the second quarter. Red Raiders set to punt, 4th and 3 on their own, 32-yard line. Again, 66-21, running clock, 7:20 remaining. They're going to waste as much time as possible as Texas Tech here, it looks like. We are now officially under 7 minutes on the play clock. And they snap it with 10 seconds left. And the punt is off and away. Pretty good punt as well by Burgess there. Texas Tech, can they cover well? The answer is no, they cannot. As there is a flag, though, I think that one will be coming back on UNT. It looked like it might have been a block in the back or a hold. Don't know how they're going to qualify it, but pretty clearly a penalty on them. And instead of starting out on their own, about 40, they'll move back and probably be closer to their own 20, it looks like, unless they call something else here. Okay, they took the flag up. Interesting. Corey, yes, they did take out their starters. Let's see here. Quick answers again. Let me know your star of the game, who you think deserves a ton of credit in this one. I think all 3 facets of the game were really, really good today for Texas Tech, especially when the starters are in. I thought the starters just played phenomenal. Game ball goes to the defense. No one player for me. That unit was under a ton of pressure, and they delivered today. Agreed. Red Raider defense for sure. Bashed the coaching staff for 2 weeks, so got to give it to them this week. Absolutely agree. Again, you can be critical of people, right? As long as you do it in a sincere way, you're not a dick about it. Like, you can be critical, but also you got to give them their flowers when they do really, really well. And I thought the Tech defense did a phenomenal job today, and also the offense, and that's part of the coaching aspect of it. So definitely giving Kitley and DeRuiter a ton of credit today because, yeah, they scored 21 points, did North Texas. But if we're being honest, they really scored 7 against the starters, and that 7 that they scored was on really a bad play, the one bad play Texas Tech defensively had with the starters in. So tip your cap to the Mean Green, but the starting defense for Texas Tech really only gave up about 7 points in this one. So that's big for sure. Let's see here. We won't know until a couple games from now whether we turned a corner today or not. Sure. But that doesn't mean we can't celebrate what happened for Texas Tech on the field today and also acknowledge the fact that, hey, like, they needed this game confidence-wise. They had to have this kind of performance, and they did. They heard the criticism, did the coaches, and obviously the players did too, and they came out and they just dominated from start to finish. Period. End of story. Love what happens when you establish the run and don't throw 17 screens. Listen, there's a time and a place for a screenplay. I'm all here for it, right? I really am. But in moderation, and you have to wonder if they ran so many screens last week just because they didn't have Taj Brooks, right? So I think that could be part of it as well. But you could definitely tell the difference offensively this week in having Taj Brooks. You could definitely see that. You think UNT will score a TD again? Can't see the flow of the game. Don't have game on. Yeah, I mean, they probably will. Or they're going to have a chance to anyway. They start out on their own 35 here. Bunch of backups in for both sides now as they hand this one off, and that's a good tackle right there, even though they did spin them forward, did the Red Raiders. As you got a few true freshmen in there for Texas Tech playing defensively. Love to see this right now. Get those young guys in there. Get them some run in a non-really pressure-filled situation, but still some game action. You love to see this. That's big for sure. Second and 3 for UNT. They hand it up off the gut again. Big time run for them. You can definitely tell the backups are in for the Texas Tech defensive line. It has shifted and then some in terms of like the aggressiveness and being able to move guys. What do you think is the biggest key next week against Arizona State? Yeah, I think the biggest key is going to be containing the quarterback. Levitt is a guy that can run the football. He's looked good passing the football at times, but really, really is good at prolonging plays and making, the defense really have to defend for long periods of time. So if you can do something similar to what you did this week against Chandler Morris, where it's like, hey, we don't mind you throwing the football, but it's from within the pocket. Okay, you feel much better about that if you're Texas Tech. There's no doubt about it. So that's probably the biggest thing that stands out to me. Obviously, you're not going to have the same identical game plan that you had against UNT for Arizona State, but you feel good about your chances for sure if you can contain Levitt to the pocket and not allow him to have, off-scripted plays and really just create, some issues with his legs for the Texas Tech defense. Another handoff by UNT. This one stopped in the backfield by the Red Raiders. Jalen Peoples gets that one, but there is a flag on the play. Holding on UNT. That'll move back. Scutaboo is also one of the greatest names, Mark, in college football. Learn the name, enjoy the name. Scutaboo, the Arizona State running back. Just a fantastic name. Yeah, no, they run the football pretty well. Scataboo. I don't know. I think it's Scataboo. I mispronounced it the first couple times there. It's Scataboo. Yeah, that's his last name. Yeah, Double T Beerman. Yeah, you celebrate tonight, and then you're on to Arizona State tomorrow, period. That's how this should work. Another handoff by UNT. This one stopped in the backfield. The Red Raiders make a statement there. It will be 3rd and long, just short of midfield for UNT with about 4 minutes remaining. For those that don't know, we will be doing a live post game right here on this stream still, but we will be live over on Twitter as well. I will have the microphone right next to the microphone for this, so you will get to hear live, authentic reaction from other Texas Tech fans on Twitter, and we will discuss everything you need to know about this Texas Tech win as they try to get to the quarterback. Good job there. Makes a guy miss, and UNT is going to get this and then some. I'll tell you what. Mestamaker's got some legs on him, okay? He's got some legs on him, so you're going to want to stick around for that in terms of the post game for sure. Pretty dominating performance, though, by the Red Raiders today. In really all three facets, especially with the starters in. I get they're going down the field right now as UNT after they pick up 5 yards on first down. But, from a starter perspective, they were really, really good. Yeah, absolutely. I think next week's goal is stay focused and play with confidence like you did this week. I thought that they had a really good game plan. They played with a bunch of confidence. They played really well in the secondary. I think they just did a really good job. It all starts up front with Texas Tech, though, on both sides of the football. If you can pretty much tell right away if Texas Tech is going to have a good day. If the offensive line looks focused, you get a couple of good runs going, and get Taj in a flow, and then if the defensive line stays in their run lanes and their assignments like that, you can tell pretty early on if you're a Red Raider fan, as Texas Tech is going to force this one to go down to the 2-minute timeout. I will be right back. And we will discuss post-game. We'll do a live post-game here on the channel. And we will also have a post-game Twitter Spaces that will still be here on the channel too. So you will hear from Red Raiders just like you and their opinions on this win. So stay tuned. All righty. 2 minutes left for the Red Raiders. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in terms of helping the channel grow. And we want as many Red Raiders in here as possible, right? I think that that's the point of this channel. Corey, I actually had a couple people say they were watching at the game earlier. So that was really cool. So some people were at the game watching this game and having this on their phone. So that was kind of cool, I thought. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would do it, but hey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. Again, Red Raiders dominated in all three facets of the game today. I mean, just an utter domination. This game was over not even midway through the second quarter, if we're being honest about it. 3rd and 2, another handoff up the middle, and he will get it and then some as he breaks 4 tackles. The Red Raiders backups just don't know what wrapping up is. Not a great look right there, to say the least, as North Texas goes into Red Raider red zone. Yeah, Scattaboo is going to be an issue. So is Levitt for sure. They're going to want to run the football. 1st and goal for UNT. Another handoff. The Red Raiders are ready for this one, though. That goes nowhere. It'll be 2nd and goal from the Red Raider 8-yard line. Again, I know I've said it a couple times. Appreciate each and every one of y'all spending some of your Saturday morning and now Saturday afternoon with me here on the channel. We won't have a live for next week's game because, well, some of our good friends are getting married, so I guess I'll go to their wedding, right? I guess. But we will have one for the Cincinnati game the week after, but we will have maybe a couple of lives this week leading up to and having live Q&As if y'all want to come in and ask your questions about the Red Raiders leading up to their first Big 12 game of the year against Arizona State next Saturday afternoon at Jones AT&T Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for 2:30. Under a minute left now. The Red Raiders lead at 66-28. Regardless of what happens here, the Red Raiders will more than double up North Texas. They're going to run a fade route, and it is not going to be caught. Jalen Peoples will be called for PI, though. I don't think he turned his head. Didn't look like he turned his head. I think that would probably going to be the issues. Peoples has not looked good so far. He has struggled early on in the limited playing time that he's had. Obviously, he played a lot more against Abilene Christian. Now he turned his head back. Did he have his jersey? Camera angles really didn't do it justice, but that's a great play by Malik Dingle coming straight downhill. It didn't look like it was PI, but maybe I couldn't see his left hand. Maybe he grabbed the receiver's shoulder pads. But regardless, Malik Dingle gets a loss there at 2nd and goal, less than 25 seconds remaining. UNT, I don't know if they're going to snap this football. And if they do, I think it's going to be the last play of the game. 9 seconds left. 5 seconds left. UNT snaps the ball. This will be the last play of the game. Looking for a pass. Mestamaker out of the pocket, rolls, nothing doing, and the Red Raiders have officially beaten the UNT Mean Green 66-21. Let's get those W's in the chat. Come on. Let's get those W's in the chat right now. Come on. That's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. And now we will start the post game over, well, on Twitter and here. So you're going to hear some people as well talk here on the channel. So stick around for instant analysis. We're going to start this thing right now, people. I really don't know what just happened. We're losing connection here. I have no idea what just happened. I have no idea what just happened there in terms of reconnecting, but I do know this. Texas Tech just beat the shit out of UNT, and that was the dominant performance each and every one of you wanted to see, and that's exactly what happened today. Texas Tech beats UNT, the Mean Green, 66-21, an absolute dominant performance by the Red Raiders. Whether you're watching on YouTube, this Twitter space, or you're actually listening on Twitter, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here. Let's talk about this one because there's a lot to discuss, right? Coming to this game, I think it's safe to say vibes were bad in Red Raider Nation. I think that that's fair to say. And a lot of people in my comments over on YouTube and even in my mentions on Twitter were saying Texas Tech is going to lose this game. I'll tell you this right now. This game was over before the second quarter started. Like, that's the kind of impact and emphatic, just like, hey, we're going to come out and dominate today, Texas Tech had, right? They came out and just absolutely blew the brakes off of North Texas. You had Baron Morton, who had as many touchdown passes as he did incompletions. He had more total touchdowns than he did incompletions. Did Baron Morton. 5 total touchdowns for the Red Raider QB1. Speaking of QB, how about Will Hammond? You get to see him play in the second half, and he had a couple of throws where you were just like, all right, young man. All right. Yep, you're the guy next. You're next up. He had a couple of wow throws. You liked what Cam Brown did in terms of running the football as a backup quarterback, except for the fact where he looked he was staring a couple guys down when it came to throwing the football. But overall, quarterback position looked really good. You threw for 354 total yards, and you had 12 wide receivers account for 24 completions in this one for 354 passing yards. And then on the ground, you had Taj Brooks lead the way with 17 carries, 109 yards, 1 touchdown, average 6.4 yards per carry. Cam Dickey, the true freshman, looked good, but he wasn't the only true freshman that looked good. You had Jacoby Williams back there as well. They combined for 14 carries, just over 100 yards rushing, and 2 TDs. Overall, the biggest thing that I wanted to see in this one was obviously the offense, right? Cool. The offense looked great. But how about the defense? Really, UNT did not look good offensively against the starters for the Red Raiders, except for that one play where they had a 75-yard house call on a broken defensive play in terms of really CJ Baskerville took a bad angle, and so did Ben Roberts on the tackle, right? Outside of that, the Red Raiders looked absolutely dominant from the jump. Simple and plain. There was really nothing you could critique in terms of them looking bad from a starter perspective. Now, it was also good to see some of these young guys come in and really work through some of those kinks, right? That was one of those things. You want to see these young guys that are going to have to make an impact later on in the future for Texas Tech come in games where, hey, the game is decided, but you need live in-game reps, right? Well, they got that. Some of them look shaky, especially on defense, but overall, Texas Tech had 598 yards of total offense in this one. And you got pressure on the quarterback. They had a stat where you had over 20 QB hurries in terms of pressures in this game. You had a ton in the sense that, hey, you almost got to double digits. By my count, you had 9. You didn't have any sacks in this one, except for 1 there at the end. But outside of that, I thought that was a pretty dominant performance, and you could tell that the Red Raiders took a lot of the criticism, let's call it, from fans and spectators alike from the past couple of weeks. They heard it, and they came out and they had a message for everyone in this one. Again, 37 carries for Texas Tech running backs and rushers today for 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, 6.6 yards per carry. All right, let's get some people in here talking on the Twitter Spaces. Again, appreciate whether you're watching on YouTube or hanging out with me here on Twitter Spaces, spending some of your Saturday afternoon with me. I believe Big Red Raider was the first one in here. Let's see if we can get him all connected and set up. Whenever you're ready, take yourself off mute, man. Oh, Big Red Raider, listening still? No? Question mark? Okay, we'll move to the next one. MJ, once you get yourself connected, my guy, go ahead and take yourself off mute and you should be good to go. Or if we're just having issues today, maybe we are. Who knows? Looks like MJ is going to have to take himself off mute. There we go. Hey, you tell him. Yeah, you tell him. What's up, man? Fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Sounds like you were at the game.
In the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question.
But hey, they look good today. I'll take the W. The only bit of beef I have is they didn't get to 69 points today. But you know what? I'll live with the fact that we didn't get there. But that's okay. That's okay.
You just wanted that nice round total.
Just wanted that nice round total. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
Solid number.
For sure. For sure.
So it was a good game. It was a good game. And yes, that's my 4-year-old in the background.
Sounds good. I appreciate you hopping on, my guy.
Absolutely, man.
Enjoyed it. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. I believe we got Kenny next. It's good to hear that MJ's daughter loves his mom or her mommy. That's always good. Kenny,
hey, find her mom. Let's go.
Hey, we love when kids love their parents. No, Kenny? We love that.
Hey, everything runs through Taj Brooks. That guy set the tone. 4 straight running plays. I love it.
Yeah, I think the thing that stood out to me more than that, and again, Taj has an impact on what I'm about to say for sure. There's no doubt about it. Listen, I've been critical of Zach Kitley, but the fact that he used RPOs and play action today, I thought was sensational. And obviously, again, Taj Brooks helps with that. There's no doubt about it. But the way that he used play action and RPOs early on and setting the tone with Taj Brooks, I think was the difference on why Texas Tech got out to a fast start. Also, credit to the offensive line today. I thought that, they kind of mixed and matched today. This will be the unit moving forward until Porsche comes back at left tackle. But I thought Dalton Merriman was good at left tackle. I thought Caleb Rogers played really good at left guard outside of really one penalty. Sheridan Wilson was good at the center spot. Davon Carter at right guard, and then Ty Buchanan. I thought those guys really set the tone early on. Were they perfect? No. I think if you ask a college football offensive line to be perfect, you're going to be really upset really all year long. But
what about pressure on the quarterback?
They were fantastic today, I thought. They didn't get sacks, right? But the thing is, UNT gets the ball out quick like ACU, Washington State. All I asked for in that situation is QB hurries and making the quarterback uncomfortable. And they had well over 12 QB hurries in this game. They had almost double-digit pressures. They only had 1 sack in the game. But I thought they really impacted things in terms of making a difference in the sense of really helping the secondary out. And honestly, 2 of those picks were because, well, one of them was just because the wide receiver flat out dropped it, hit him right in the face. But the other one, the Braylon Lux one, if you go back and look, there was pressure in Chandler Morris's face.
The Braylon Lux pick was amazing.
Yeah. And talk about a beeline stampede. He had, I think, 4 or 5 Red Raiders leading his way into the end zone. So I thought it was a tone setter. The pressure was. Again, were they perfect? No. But at the same time, compared to weeks 1 and 2, I mean, it was night and day. I mean, this was a performance that you desperately, desperately needed if you were Texas Tech in terms of momentum going into Big 12 play. Because if you
Arizona State coming up,
yeah,
we are going to have to lock down the defensive line. We're going to have to figure out how to get some pressure in the backfield.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to do – I'm not going to say exactly what you did today, but something very similar in the sense of you did not allow Chandler Morris to really escape the pocket and prolong these plays and really put your secondary in a bad situation, right? You contained him, you set the edge, and that's what you're going to have to do against Leavitt, and that'll help you against Scadaboo too. Also, really fun name to say. That is the running back for Arizona State. Yeah, it's very fun to say. Hopefully I have a lot more fun saying it next week in the sense of he's not doing anything to hurt my feelings. But, that's really what you're going to have to do. I think that's going to be really the tell for Texas Tech all year. You're going to be able to tell pretty quickly for this defense each and every game if they contain the quarterback and don't allow them to extend plays and, really make, havoc on the outside in terms of just throwing off platform and making it to where you have to send a guy out there, a linebacker, away from where you really want him. I think that you're going to see Texas Tech really do a lot of good things moving forward. But again, it starts
with Taj. Taj makes the offense work. Once you have Taj in the backfield, everything changes.
Yeah, no, I think, it's one of those deals where Taj definitely helps. There's no doubt about it. But I think I've heard a lot of people say that over on YouTube too, like, hey, it all starts with Taj. And I agree for a large part, but I think that that's kind of discrediting what Cam Dickey does too and the other running backs. I think it just starts with the run game and up front. Like the easier thing to do for an offensive line to get them into the game, and I thought Kitley did a really good job of it in this one, was set the tone early with the run game, like you were saying, but that also allows your offensive line to get settled, and this was a new group playing for the first time together in this formation of offensive linemen.
Started the game with 4 straight.
Exactly.
Rushing.
And it allowed the offensive lines to get moving. It allowed them to really get their hands on the defenders and get into the game, and they set the tone after that. I mean, Baron Morton was really only touched twice, and one of them was just flat out, hey, like, UNT sent the blitz, good for you guys. That's going to happen. And then the other one was because he kind of moved into the pressure. Outside of that, I thought they were really good. Again, you're not going to have too many qualms from me when Texas Tech averaged 6.6 yards per carry, right? Like, I mean, it's hard to hate on that. So I thought Texas Tech did a lot of great things. They went in there, they made a statement as they needed to in this game, and moving forward, now you're in the crux of the season where these first 3 games mattered, but now it really matters, right? You're in conference play. You can still do great things if you're Texas Tech. There's no doubt about it, right? You can still live up to those goals that you have in front of you. And today had to have a game like this, and they did. Almost 600 yards of total offense. The defense was sensational.
Coy Aiken, he is WR number 1.
Man, no, that's Josh Kelly, Brody. No, I won't allow it. I won't allow it, Kenny. Nope. Going to put the hammer down on this one. That's Josh Kelly, buddy. I do love me some Coy Aiken, though. I mean, that's the thing. I've definitely complained about not seeing enough Micah Hudson, who you did see in this game, had 3 catches for 43 yards, including an absolute, just one of the crispiest plays I've seen from Texas Tech the last few years, from that pass from Will Hammond to Micah Hudson for 32 yards on that slant. That was crispy.
Joey's the one saying that Aiken's taking Hudson's spot, right?
No, he's just saying it's one of those deals where they have a bunch of good wide receivers in the group that they're going to start the guys that have done better in practice and whatnot and play those guys. That's kind of what his whole thing has been. So,
but it's nice to see Aiken
100%. The crazy part is Coy Aiken only had 1 target in this game, and it went for a tutty. It went for 70 yards. That was the best throw of the day by Baron Morton by far. He placed the laser right over the defender of UNT, right in a window where if he doesn't throw it there, Coy Aiken probably gets lit up, but he hit him in stride, and Coy Aiken took it to the house instead. So big time stuff from Baron today. I thought this was one of the best games he's had as a Red Raider. I get it, it's against UNT, but listen, why didn't this happen against ACU, right? Like, so you take the positives, you move forward in that regard. I thought Texas Tech in all 3 facets of the game, when the starters were in, I mean, I don't know any other way to say it outside of just beat the shit out of UNT. I mean, they dominated them. I mean, this game was over with more than 9 minutes left in the second quarter. I mean, it was 31-7 with 9:50 left. And then, you know what? Let's add another tutty to that. With 9:30 left in this game, it was 38-7. The game was done then, right? And then Texas Tech just continued to add on. And it was good to see some of those young guys get a lot of momentum as well. But I appreciate you hopping in, Kenny. Going to get to a couple more people in here. Again, appreciate y'all spending some of y'all's Saturday with me. Big time Texas Tech W 66-21 over North Texas. I'm not going to say your username because it involves me calling myself trash, I think, but go ahead.
Oh, gosh, man.
I needed that game to watch. that game just, I mean, those past two games really just shook me as a Red Raider fan. But I mean, how about Will Hammond, man? That dude was slinging the football like he should be 100% be QB2 after that. Because watching Cam Brown throw the football, definitely not a throwing quarterback. He needs to be more of the Donovan Smith kind of quarterback where you run it in on a goal line kind of thing. But watching Micah Hudson almost get into the end zone and getting tripped up, that was pretty awesome.
No, I agree with you 100% on Will Hammond. He should be QB2, but I think again, I hate playing this hypothetical, but let's just play it real quick. If Barron does miss time, Will Hammond should be QB1, right? But you should still see Cam Brown come in for some of those Donovan Smith packages, like you said, to help in short yardage and near the goal line, make life easier for Will Hammond. But Will Hammond should be the guy for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people knew that, but it was just fun to see, even in a game that was a blowout, you could see how mature he was as a true freshman, right? There were a couple throws where I was just like, damn, that's a senior type throw, bro. I mean, he that one to Micah Hudson is South Carolina with a pick six. Holy shit, against LSU. I mean, Will Hammond is that guy. He got you excited for the future. I'm right there with you. And you could see, too, there was a bunch of other young wide receivers on the field. They didn't have too many targets, but you saw a lot of those young guys out there and making the correct decisions. And that was something that will just build confidence later on for hopefully not this year, seeing some of those guys play, right? Specifically Will Hammond, because that means Barron Morton is healthy and he's doing well. But that's what you like to see in that regard. And that's huge for Texas Tech. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed was a good positive note was, I only counted like 2 or 3 penalties on the offense, maybe more. I don't know. I tried to keep on watching the game, but the penalties definitely got figured out throughout the week. And, thinking about the game in Wazoo, I mean, maybe the practice time was a little limited because in Lubbock we did have a lot of weather, and, maybe practicing indoors kind of really didn't help Texas Tech, and I don't know how their practices go. I live in Lubbock, but I never get to drive over there very often. But, the past week it's been like really, really sunny, not real hot, so they probably got some real good practice, and I'm glad they dropped 66 points. I would have liked to see 69 points like that one dude said earlier, but it's going to be real nice seeing how Texas Tech plays against Arizona State next week at 2:30.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And it's one of those deals, man, where I think I don't think this team needs any more excuses kind of deal. So I get what you're saying for sure in terms of weather does impact stuff. There's no doubt about it. But, it was just good to see them come in and play a clean game. Like I'm going to count the first half as the starters. Okay. I think that's more than fair to do. They had 3 penalties, right? The starters in games were averaging basically 10.5 penalties and 81 yards per game coming into this game. So they cut that down penalty-wise to only 3 in the first half. 1 was a holding call. 1 was a false start. Funny enough, to open up the second half, they had a false start. But overall, I mean, I thought Texas Tech played a lot more disciplined, specifically on the offensive line and the defensive line. I thought they stayed much, much more in their run gaps, which was huge and really contained and made life difficult for Chandler Morris.
I saw a stat on Fox, and it said it was just the most touchdowns by, I don't remember what it was, the most touchdowns by as many receivers in Texas Tech since 2000 or something like that. I don't remember, but there was a lot of people got touchdowns and touches today, and seeing the young guys outperform some of the young guys, I will agree, outperformed some of the older guys like Cam Dickey. That man, he's got a very bright future in Lubbock.
He's Taj Brooks 2.0.
Absolutely. He might be a little shorter than Taj, and he's got the build of Taj, and he looks like a very star-studded running back for Tech.
Yeah, I mean, I love the potential combination of Cam Dickey and Jacoby Williams. It's literally going to be a thunder and lightning type deal. And you can play both of them at the same time because Jacoby can go out and, play as a slot wide receiver if you want to and just wreak havoc on defenses later on. And they're making an impact as true freshmen, more so Cam Dickey, but big time stuff for sure on that front. Appreciate you hopping on, man. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. For those that don't know, I've been talking for 4 hours straight over on the YouTube. And listen, I want to go enjoy this Saturday too. Drink some cervezas. Probably going to go get myself a 12-pack of Dos Equis and sit my happy ass down and watch the rest of college football today. And you know the best part about it? The Red Raiders won. So it makes today even better. It's always a great day to be a Red Raider, but it's even better day when the Red Raiders.
We need more 11 a.m. games. It makes everything go much better throughout the day.
No more 11 a.m. games, though. I can't wake up for those.
Dude, wake up earlier, man. 11 a.m. games is the way to go.
I don't know, fellas. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to cash out right now. Like I said, I've been talking for about 4 hours straight. I appreciate everybody that either watched on YouTube for the live stream or was here on the Texas Tech post-game spaces. Truth be told, we'll not have one next week because, well, my friends decided to get married on a college football Saturday. So you hate to see it. Sometimes you just got to live with other people's bad decisions.
I got married on a Red River rivalry 6 years ago, so yeah.
Not everybody makes good decisions, Kenny. Apparently you don't. But
hey, we beat Oklahoma State by like 50 points that day.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is. But appreciate you hopping on, Kenny. Appreciate MJ hopping on as well as I'm not going to say that guy's name, but he was nice. He just had trash, and I think it means I was good and called trash. But I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and we will see Texas Tech play next week against Arizona State to open up Big 12 play. As always, you know what to do. Stay safe, and, well, enjoy today because, well, the Red Raiders won, and that's always a great day because every day is a great day to be a Red Raider. But on game days where they win, it's even better. Catch y'all next time. Appreciate y'all tuning in.